This meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considered applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning, and that applies to property and permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and also a consent to serve a property to create new lots. And my name is Yim Chan. I will be chair today's hearing. And I also like to introduce the members on today's panel. To my left is Ms. Ann Crawford, and to my right-hand side is Mr. Dylan Reed, and Mr. Dino Labandi, and also Mr. Larry Clay. And our Deputy Secretary Treasurer is Sabrina Salatino. And I'd like to also acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anasazi, the Chippewa, and Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is home to many diverse nations, Inuit, Métis peoples. And we also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and a virtual format. Some applicants or participants will make their submission in person, and others will participate online. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate online and have registered in advance will be connected with the computer, tablet, smartphone, or telephone, and have the options of participating via video or audio only. And all online participants will automatically be muted on entry, and when your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We also ask you that you mute all your devices until you are called to speak. And those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist status. And during your speaking, during this time, your camera will be enabled, and you will only be visible during your 5-minute speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled, and you will be restated as attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadlines. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist's control during a video appearance. And people attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the Committee of Adjustment application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because the Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. And if you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or TLAB, in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act in January, removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decision. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies, as those terms were defined in the Planning Act, are permitted to appeal the decision of the committee. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. And the following is the hearing procedure. I will call out each item as listed in the agenda. And when the application is not contested, the agent or applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for decision. And each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. And I will comment when you are reaching your 5 minutes. And any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept material at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and make a presentation to the committee. And please note the committee might not entertain revisions to proposal at the hearing today. The committee might decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure that the revised application is accurate and all those entitled to notice are informed of the changes. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. And in general, we will call all the people in this room, and then we'll move to online speakers. And committee member may ask questions of each speaker, and after they finish the presentation. When all the speakers are finished, the applicant or the agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. And this will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for a decision. And we have now I would like to also ask this Deputy Secretary Treasurer whether we have some minutes of previous meetings to be adopted. Yeah.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Yes, the April 29th minutes are ready for adoption.
Yes, well, I have a, Mr. Reid, yeah, we have a motion to adopt.
I'll move to adopt those minutes.
Yeah, and second, Ms. Crawford, all in favor to adopt? All in favor, thank you. Now, I would also like to ask whether there's any declaration of conflict of interest for this session, staff and panel members? No. And also, next is whether we have some deferral requests of file to be closed.
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't see any files that are required to be closed and no deferral requests at this time.
Okay, so thank you. And then now we are ready to move to item number 1 for this morning. Is item number 1 is 25 HILTZ Avenue. The purpose of this application is to permit and maintain the existing front staircase and platform, and that was partially constructed beyond an authorized building permit. The existing front enclosed porch and front first floor balcony on the first floor detached dwelling will be maintained and unaltered. We have received a copy of a survey, site plan, floor plan elevations, 1 photograph of the property, and also a decision affecting the subject property. Toronto local appeal body decision, and also email correspondence from the agent. And they are seeking 3 variances on this application. So we are ready for the applicant or the agent. Yeah.
Through Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers for this item.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Jason. Jason Fong.
You're a little bit weak. Can you speak louder or speak into your mic?
Oh. Yes.
Try again.
My name is Jason Fong. Can you hear me? It's not good enough. Can you, I'm not too sure. Can you speak into your mic or turn off other devices except the mic that you're speaking into? Yeah. The sound is on. Who is it?
It sounds better now. Yeah.
Is it better now?
Okay, yes, we can hear you better now. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jason Fong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your address, please. Yeah.
Yes. It's 25 HILTZ Avenue in Toronto.
Yes. And
yeah, I'm the owner of the property. Oh, okay. So it's not a contested application. I will check with my panel whether they want a presentation from you. Do you?
Okay.
Do you have questions? Do we go into questions? Yeah, we do not need a presentation from you, but we do have some questions.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Ms. Lombardi. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So to the applicant's consultant or representative. So first of all, do the site plan drawings that have been provided, are those the most current, and do they respond to the request from the Committee of Adjustment staff?
Yes.
Okay. With respect to the purpose of the application, this results in a platform and a set of stairs with 7 risers that is in the front yard, correct?
Yes.
And it was built without a building permit?
Right. So I was we submit the permit in there. Yes.
But it was built without the permit?
Right.
Okay. Do the set of stairs encroach into the city's boulevard?
I think it was on whatever it was on previous stairs there.
So the question is, do the stairs currently, because they are built, because you provided a photo of the stairs, correct? They are built.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Does part of the stairs encroach onto the city's boulevard?
Yes.
And have you gotten permission from the city or sign off that that is okay?
I don't got it because that was whatever the stairs was. The previous stair was right there, right?
Can I introduce? I think maybe Ms. Lombardi is trying to ask you whether you need encroachment agreement or a permit from the city.
Yes, that's what I'm we are doing for. Yeah.
So you have not received that yet?
No.
Okay. Final question. You've enclosed, or the owner of the property has enclosed the front porch, correct?
So that was when we bought the house, it was closed.
All right. So let me ask you, why do you need a what I think is a rather large landing spot adjacent or abutting the enclosed porch and 7 risers on your stairs when you have an enclosed porch? Why wouldn't you just need stairs to get you to the door, the front door, to the enclosed porch?
Oh, because I think that our house is higher than so I need to have 7 steps, right?
But do you need the landing spot?
It's just for the door to going in. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, please? Yeah. No more questions? Yeah, we do not have any more questions. Now we are in committee. Yeah, Mr. Lombardi, yeah. I see what you saw.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not going to support this application. First of all, this was built without a permit. I don't see the need for that large landing spot platform, which is accessed through the steps, which are elongated steps out into the front yard, and which lead to an enclosed porch. I think that's overkill. Also, this does require sign-off from the city through an encroachment agreement for encroachment of the stairs. In addition, variance number 3 is a rather significant reduction in front yard soft landscaping. Now, the properties along this street do have front yard landscaping. It's not always significant, but it is there. This house does not. So In my opinion, it does not, the variance is being requested, specifically variance number 3, which is the key variance, I think, does not satisfy, and they do not individually and cumulatively satisfy the 4 tests. I won't be supporting this application.
Oh, okay, and please, yeah, go ahead.
I'm
yeah.
just wondering if we could go back and ask the applicant about the soft.
Okay,
landscaping in
well,
front.
we are getting out of committee, and you can, yes, Mr. Fong, we have a question for you, yeah.
Hi,
Yes.
Mr. Fong. So you're the owner too, is that right?
Yes, I'm the owner.
Owner of the property, okay. So, yeah, just wondering about the soft landscaping in the front. You can sort of see from the photo that your neighbors do have some soft landscaping.
Yes.
Have you given that any thought? Is there any reason?
Oh,
why-
yeah, we do have it. Yeah, we do have it.
And have you given any thought to how you could increase the soft landscaping in the front?
Well, actually, there's some soft landing. It's at I have the parking spot in there. There's some in the front of the house there. There's some, but because the winter time, so that's why the plants is dead. So we are planning from season, you know. So that's why.
So that's the best that you can do with soft landscaping?
Yeah, it's in in the front of the porch there, and then along on where the stairs are in there. So you can see there's some rocks in there, and then that's and the empty space on the side there. This all soft landing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah,
And
can
then
I,
I think it's also underneath the car there. There's some soft landing too. Yes.
I have another question to follow up about the encroachment agreement. You said that you're in the process of getting, or at least contacting the city for agreement. What is the status now? Have you actually started the process of discussing this with them? Or have you actually started to get the agreement or applying for? Can you tell us where you at now?
Oh, so yeah. So that's why we are on the committee adjustment, and then yeah, we are talking to the engineering, whoever is doing the drawing for me, and then so that part is that's they doing those things for us.
Okay, but with the city, I'm talking about with the city. Who have you contacted to get this agreement? Have you started to discuss this with them? Because the reason why I ask is that if you're in the process and you have a feeling that the chance of getting it is reasonable, that's a very different situation, because when I look at the street, there's almost the whole entire streets, those property seem to be quite careful that they do not encroach on the city boulevard. You look at all the stairs, they all have porches, they all have a higher first floor. It seems that their stairs have kept inside the property. That's what I'm just wanting to know, whether your chance of getting the agreement is high or
No,
Yeah.
actually, I actually it's I have mine is 25, right? And then 23, they have a few steps just right from the stair from the walkway.
okay.
And then also it's 29. They have few steps from the walkway too.
Okay, so yeah, I can see, that they are so away from the house. They have to have a few steps going there. Yeah, but
From
so
the
have you
stairway,
contacted the city for agreement? That's what my question is really. Yeah.
Yes, I think that I think I have just two people. One is who's it? That's okay.
That's okay. So you talk to them, and then they advise you to come through committee adjustment. If you get approved, then they will continue the process. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you. That's my question. All right. Now, any more questions? We're back in committee. Yeah. Okay. You want to? I can follow up the comment. Yeah, I was looking at most of the properties stay inside the property, but there's a few that they do have to split the stairs, even on both adjacent property. It seems that they have to have some kind of extra steps and then go to the house and then more steps. Obviously those steps have to be on City Boulevard. So that really doesn't bother me very much. And also when I look at the whole thing, is that there are a few steps, if they can get agreement from the city, it's a few steps, doesn't really create too much of impact in terms, they have quite a few, elevated steps to make. So I know about Mr. Lombardi is bothered by the extra landing. But if you go to the top of stairs and then start opening the door, sometimes I'm very short. And sometimes I'm one step lower and then I can't reach the keyhole. So maybe a little bit of a landing, it will help that. That's
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
if I can just add,
Yeah.
I'll remind the panel, if you look at the TLAB decision from 2018, this applicant also received approval for reduced rear yard soft landscaping. So there's already a reduction in rear yard soft landscaping. Variance 3 reduces it even significantly.
It's the same owner?
Yeah.
Or-
Well, I assume
Same
it's the
property?
same owner. It's the same name as
Okay.
the applicant. But I'm just pointing out that this applicant is or the property has already received a reduction in rear soft
see,
landscaping.
Yeah, you're bothered by the soft landscaping. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I can see. Yes.
Chair,
Larry.
so this, on the surface of it, seems like a very minor, very simple application. But Dino raised the point that I was going to raise, that this application went through a very rigorous process in the past and received a variety of variances. I would imagine that as part of that approval, that the front yard treatment was included in that application. So an approval was given based on, I guess, a previous application. And the fact that this was done without a building permit troubles me a little bit. And the soft landscaping, I mean, I'm looking at the photo that they submitted and it's pretty much all concrete. So I'm not sure the applicant really tried very hard to get more soft landscaping in the front. And I appreciate your point about access and egress and maybe you need that length with the rise and run on the stairs, but maybe a smaller platform might be have been appropriate, or different materials might have been appropriate. So I'm again, well, it seems like a fairly straightforward and simple one. I think if you dig a little deeper, that I have some difficulty with this one as well.
Yeah, actually, when I didn't look at the landscaping variance. I actually myself has a note on it.
That's pretty low.
Yes,
20%
that's what I
is
mean. I
pretty low.
actually have a question mark on that, and then I was going to ask that question too. But also, when you look at it, they actually paved the part that is not theirs.
Well, that's the point, right? Is that it just doesn't look like the applicant
Yeah.
really tried very hard to
Yeah.
get more soft landscaping
then
in the front. I
we-
think there's opportunities to bring more. Like Anne raised the point about soft landscape. I think it's a good one.
Yes, it's really low because they have paved it so that they can put something there. I'm not too sure. But they have already
Yeah.
got a driveway and a garage at the back, so they should just utilize
Just seems there's a
that.
better solution here than
Yes,
what
because
they
look
had
at
put
the
forward.
both adjacent property even further. They do keep the city boulevard with soft landscaping. I mean, they do keep a bit more landscaping instead of pave the whole thing. out.
Well, there's a parking pad there too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Reid.
I mean, at first I thought this was very straightforward as well,
Yeah.
but I'm somewhat convinced by my colleague Dino's point. I'm not too bothered about the soft landscaping because there's really very, very little private property in front. But I do feel that this is a case of porch creep, where people enclose their porch and then they want to add a new porch in front. I definitely agree that a landing would be appropriate, but this landing is, I think, larger than is needed. And given the fact that it encroaches, I think that minimizing the landing to the maximum possible is something that's really important.
Yeah.
Because it does encroach. And I noticed it previously encroached, but now it's encroaching more, I believe.
Yeah.
The encroachment is actually being extended.
Yes, exactly.
So I really feel that it was incumbent on them to find a way to minimize the encroachment. I think some encroachment's reasonable, but to minimize that, and I feel like they haven't done that. Also, I would say that given the lack of soft landscaping, using concrete instead of wooden staircase, for example, is a bit of an issue as
No,
well.
you're absolutely right about within the property, they have not much opportunity to even increase their soft landscaping very much. But what I oppose is that the other property, what they have done is that they leave the city boulevard part alone.
Chair, do you want a motion?
So let me finish. So that's the part that bothered me. If they have left, because it's quite a bit that they have paid, that is not theirs, you know. Okay.
Chair, I'm happy to move a motion to refuse this application.
Okay, do I have a second? Mr. Lombardo, second? Okay, that's the, and this is to refuse the application and, with, all in favor to refuse? All in favor is refused. Thank you. Unanimously. It's all, yeah. Okay, the next item is, item number 2 is 240 Major Street. This is to alter the existing 2.5-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear second-story addition and a balcony above this existing rear 1-story portion of the dwelling, and also to permit the existing habitable space within the attic, which was converted without an authorized building permit. On this, we have received a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 4 photographs, and also a cover letter from agent and previous permit drawings and email corresponding from the owner. And we have received support of 5 signature petitions by owners of such as Brunswick, Robert, and Major Street. And we have opposition from 242, the adjacent owner on Major Street. And we are ready for the agent. On this one, they are seeking 2 variances. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we were not able to successfully reach out the agent, but we have the person in support. Maybe we can, the owner, we can mute them to speak on this application.
Is he representing? Is the owner? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aviva, you have been unmuted.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'll just start backwards. About the 3rd floor addition.
Excuse me, can you give us your first and last name? And,
Sorry.
Yes.
My name is Aviva Mayers. I'm the owner of 240 Major Street.
Okay.
We're talking about a very small little tiny room, big enough for a baby crib, with stairs, occluding the measurements of that room. I can give you the measurements. And I'm asking to extend that onto a deck that already exits from that room. So there is no extra footprint. It's the footprint of the deck. And we're only planning to use 2/3 of the deck. But let me just start with the attic. The attic room. That room was renovated when we bought the house in 2003. So we didn't have any hand in that. We bought that as it was. So that was there before. So the total room the total reno that we're looking at, including the little teensy weensy room, which is big enough for a baby crib right now, that little teeny room that is there now is 8 feet by 11.1 feet. And minus 20 inches, which really makes it 6 feet by 11. So you can see it's a tiny room, and there's not enough room in there for a double bed and a dresser. In addition, there are 3 stairs, as I said, going up from that little tiny room to the deck, which are both a hazard and a waste of space. I myself have tripped and fallen through the door onto the deck from those stairs. Fortunately, the glass door was open because it was in the summer. But as I get older, I'd like to inhabit this room, as it's at the back of the house. It's quieter and there are fewer stairs to maneuver than to the top of the house. The requested very small addition doesn't go beyond the existing footprint of the house. It's over the kitchen, which is below it, and this extension doesn't extend beyond the kitchen. In fact, it constitutes only 2/3 of the kitchen space below it, as we plan to leave a small portion, about 1/3 of the existing balcony area, for a couple of chairs and a table. We're not changing the length of the house. When we purchased the house, the ground floor, second floor, and third floor were 126% of the floor space index. I'm asking only for an additional 7% to extend this little tiny bedroom onto a piece of the existing deck. This is a very small change from the original footprint FSI of 126%. This will accommodate the requirements to make this into a functional bedroom, given my mobility concerns in the future, by removing the steps and extending the room to make it habitable. So this would add 9.64 square meters to the room, which is less than 10 square meters, which is minuscule addition. As I said above, it would accommodate a queen bed and a wardrobe. The floor would be leveled onto the deck, so we'd take those stairs out. The deck is now, for unknown reason, elevated. Privacy conditions won't change from the current state. A small front piece of the balcony will remain. The footprint of the addition is merely roughly 2/3 of the small balcony that currently exists, and it's barely used. My enclosure would be opposite the ground floor pitched roof of the neighbor at 238, which is the one south of me. It would not affect her light. From my deck, you can view her ground floor kitchen extension. She has only a pitched roof above this, no balcony. There would be no changes, I underscore this, to the footprint of the house. And there'll be no changes to the footprint of the house made with respect to the house north of me or to the south of me. I'll be constructing on the footprint of what already exists. And because of this proposed extension and room at the rear of the house, the impact to anyone is minor. It doesn't affect the streetscape. So I just wanted to also add, because I know I have a couple of minutes left, I did go around the neighborhood looking at other people who had extended onto their decks, or I don't know if they even had decks there before, but they've certainly extended onto outwards from the back to what looked like it might have been once a deck. And I did submit a letter to the committee, so you do have those numbers. I can repeat them. But most, maybe what stands out the most is number 229 across from me. That was Christine's house. She extended her place right back, big extension at the back, onto what was once a deck, and down from me, so that Christine is opposite at 229, and down from me, they have 2 houses, 232 and 234. They have extended their back. It's a new build. They raised the Victorian that were there before. And according to my other neighbor, who is an architect, they have gone beyond what the legal extension is, and they have the 2-story extension at the back. But I did go around getting the testimonials from other people in the neighborhood. Honestly, people have said to me, everybody does it on their deck. So that was the response I got from the people that supported me. And lastly, I just wanted to read a letter from Linda Mannering, who's professor in the University of Toronto in the Faculty of Kinesthesiology and Phys Ed who stays with me. She commutes from Windsor to teach at U of T, and she stays in my house. And I'm just going to read parts of the letter that she wrote. I didn't submit this letter, but she did say that in the letter that the reno is modest and maintains the character of the neighborhood and replicates many other constructions in the neighborhood. The change would not negatively affect sight lines, parking, privacy. Ms. Mayers is conscientious about her property and respects the neighborhood greatly. This
Thank
minor
you. Your time is up. Yeah, thank you. You actually have extra time already. Thank you. We got the idea of the letter in support of the application. Thank you. Yeah. Do we have other speakers? No. We do have some questions. Yes, please, Mr. Lombardi. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just some very quick questions. First of all, the letter that your agent filed, KDEX Design Limited, it states that the FSI increase is 1.36 times the area of the lot, but the public notice says 1.33 times. Which one is that? Just a minor error in the letter?
Yeah, it is a minor error. It was 126 was already there, and then to 133.
So 1.33 is what you're looking for. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
A 7%.
Second question. The deck, the second floor deck at the rear. I've calculated that as about 31 square feet in size. Is that functional? Because first of all, the depth on the drawing suggests 0.76 meters, which is just over 2.5 feet in depth. That seems a very small depth. Is that functional?
You mean, does it make sense to do it? Is that what
No. Can you actually go out and use, step onto that and use it as a balcony?
It stands now, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's used for plants, basically.
Okay.
But yeah.
But you can access it and use it during the summer whenever you need to.
Yeah, the issue is it's got 3 steps going up from the bedroom, which occlude any living space in the bedroom, or a lot of living space. And it's not clear why there are those 3 steps up.
Okay.
Because there's a gap if you can stick a pole down, actually, to hit the roof of the kitchen. So
if you do use that balcony, that rear balcony, would you have any issue if this committee approved the variances in the application with a condition saying privacy screening on the north and south side? Because the north side is that rear deck is set back 0 meters from the north property line.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So that rear second story balcony is set back 0 meters from the north property line. Would you have any issue if, as a condition of approval from this committee, including a condition that you include privacy screening on the north and south sides of that second story rear balcony?
So by privacy screening, you mean no windows?
No, a privacy, so a fence 1.5 meters in height. Like a wood screen.
If I can just add, I think that you already have a privacy screen on the existing.
It's not shown. Yeah.
Oh, on our photo though. Yeah.
Okay.
So it would basically this would simply require you to maintain what you currently have.
All right.
Yeah, and also.
But we would add that in because it's not in the plan.
Yeah, there's a picture of the rear, that next door neighbor actually have no privacy, just like.
So would you be okay with that? Essentially, you'd just be keeping what you have, but we just want to make sure that's the case.
Yeah, keeping what I have, sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and last question, sorry. The habitable space in the habitable space in the attic, you indicated that was there before you purchased the property. What triggered the notification that you're required now to note that as a purpose of the application? Was that a building permit notification that you were required to?
Yeah, I have no idea, but yeah, all of a sudden it came up that that there wasn't a permit for that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a question, although there's no speakers speaking again to oppose, but you have opposition, written opposition from 242. If the staff can bring it up, I have a question because it has mentioned that what you have obstruct the shared private laneway directly, she said, violate her legal right of access. I want you to respond to that. Yeah, the last paragraph is that finally, that started from finally, a fence has been installed by the owner. So can you explain that? I just want to know whether there's an issue there.
That lane has nothing to do with them, is my understanding.
You have never done anything added. She said that you have put a gate there, something that will obstruct her access.
She doesn't, she has her own access at the back. She's got a garage and her access is to the back lane, not to this lane. I have no idea why she complained about that.
All right, that's why I want to ask,
Yes.
you saying your response is that it has got very little to do with this application, then we will not deal with that. It's not part of this.
Nothing to do with this application. It's it's a private lane and a fire lane. I have right of way. Nobody can block me in. She actually had told her tenants at one time to park behind me, which, I had to get a lawyer about that because she had no right to do that. But that's a whole other case because they have done a lot of things that are illegal in that thing. They never get permits, and that's a whole other case, that house there.
Okay, thank you. And that's my only question. All right.
Yeah.
So,
But,
Any other questions? Are we ready to discuss this? Okay, we have no more questions. We are in committee now, please. We are in committee. Yeah. Okay, Ms. Dillon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm prepared to move a motion approving this application and granting the variances being requested. There are only two variances. As the owner indicated, there are similar examples throughout this neighborhood, both in the immediate context and a bit of a broader context. There's also larger build-outs in the neighborhood. So I'm satisfied that the design is appropriate. It fits the neighborhood. It's in the rear area. And so I'm prepared to move a motion. I'm looking at the drawings, especially the south elevation and the north elevation, and there looks like there is a fence there. I don't know if that's a privacy fence or what the height of that is. But certainly, I have no problem putting good condition that the privacy fencing be maintained on the north and south sides. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I'll second that.
Yes, second. Okay. Sorry. All in favor with no condition. Do we? It's already there. Do we want to put a condition?
Yeah, we do have the condition.
I'll put a condition to maintain the privacy screen on the rear side. Okay, all in favor with with condition of the privacy screen. Okay. Unanimously approved. Thank you. Item number 3 is 195 HALLAM Street. The purpose of this application is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete third-floor addition with a rear balcony. On this, we have received a copy of survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, and 2 photographs of the subject property. And that's all we have received, and they are seeking only one variance, with the FSI variance. So we're ready for the applicant or the agent. Yeah.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers for this item.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Mazzatelli at 608 Oriole Parkway, Toronto.
Okay. It seems to be like you're seeking one variance, but there's quite a big increase. Can you explain? I don't know whether we need a presentation. No. So yeah, I go straight to my question. Can you explain why it's such a big increase, or whether the existing FSI is already quite large? Oh, you're putting an entire floor on top. Is it common in the new development on the street or in the area?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to say that the house is for the owner and their growing family, and they wish to have a nice master bedroom. Mm-hmm. The immediate adjacent neighbor has put on a third floor addition recently, mm-hmm. and there are also 2 or 3 other examples on the HALLAM Street with third floors, mm-hmm. full third floors. Yeah, mm-hmm. So this is not uncommon. It's allowed. It's within the height limit, mm-hmm. and the coverage is a little high because the lot is narrow. But if I mention, it's actually less than your previous application we just heard. Mm-hmm. And I find it to be reasonable. Mm-hmm. There are no objections from the neighbors, and there are no objections from the city planner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I do not know whether you gave us your address. I forgot. Did you give us your address?
608 Oriole Parkway.
Okay, thank you. That's for record. Yeah. Any questions to this speaker? Okay, we do not have any more questions. We are in committee. Who wants? Yeah, Mr.
Chair, thanks. This is a very, very straightforward application. I was initially concerned a little bit about the balcony, but it's a corner lot, so I don't think it really has any overlook problems, and it's a very minor FSI increase. I'll move approval of this application with no conditions.
Oh, okay, Mr. Lombardi, second. No conditions, all approved, all in favor? Yeah, all in favor. Unanimous, is approved unanimously, thank you. We move to the next item, number 4, is 570 BLOOR Street West. This is to alter existing 2-story detached, attached dwelling by converting the first and second and rooftop level into an eating establishment, and it's a food court, and also to construct a rooftop patio to be used by the food court with stairs enclosure located at the front, rear, and side of the rooftop. We have received here survey site plan, floor plan, elevations, and revised site plans, and 3 photographs and a cover letter corresponding from the agent, and also presentations material from the agent. We also received staff report from community planning and also TTC. And they are seeking 3 variances. And we are ready for the agent. He's in person. It's great. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Good morning.
It's not. You do not have any oppositions. So.
Yes. David Mackay, registered professional planner with MHBC, representing the applicant, 7050 Western Road, Suite 230, Woodbridge, Ontario.
Yes.
Happy to go through a presentation if the committee would like. Or I can make some very brief comments if you'd like. It is a unique situation.
Yes, so. Go ahead. So do we need to start the? We start the.
I think
clock?
just the brief comments.
I don't think we need a full presentation.
Exactly. No.
It's a very good presentation, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. No, I would just say that I would keep it as a habit,
Yes, no problem.
Just wait. Please address the panels. Anything that you like to address.
Sure. So this property is just located at the northwest corner of Bathurst and Bloor. It's an existing commercial operation, vacant for some time. My client has been trying to seek tenants for the space. They've been approached by a group that wants to do a food club, so effectively a combination of 14 different restaurants of different varieties, like a food court that you'd see in a mall, I guess. with a card system so that you buy the cards and you can go between, freely between various restaurants and whatnot within the same building. It does increase, we're using the entirety of the building, the 2 stories, so we are under the FSI, but obviously there is a cap on the combined gross floor area for restaurant uses. And that was primarily put in place to prevent large nightclubs and all the noise and things like that that occur with it. This is a different animal. It is completely enclosed. It's also separated from any residential. The closest residential property that's used for residential is about 73 meters away. To the north is the TTC West entrance to the Bathurst station. So there's no impact there. And so that deals with both the setback to the patio, which we've pushed towards Bloor Street, away from that. The measurement for the patio to the closest residential zoned lot is at the TTC yard across Poulter's Place. And that really deals with the walkway to the north stairwell, which is required by code. That's treated as part of the patio, although it's not functionally going to be used for a patio. So those are the variances that we're dealing with. They are numerically big, but in terms of the intent and the impacts, I believe that it does meet the 4 tests, and I'd be happy to answer questions of the committee.
There are a couple of, it's not a question, but I'd like to mention is the staff report asking us to impose conditions.
For the tie to the site plan, and that's perfectly acceptable. We did speak with staff about that, and that's really to just nail down the rooftop patio location.
And also the TTC that you are required to submit.
We've already done that.
Yeah, but you're not doing any foundation work anyway, right? So
that's right. It's just their perfunctory letter. And we've already cleared it with them that there's no issues and not even a permit required.
That's all. That's my question. Yes, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. Thank you, Mr. Mackay, for the presentation. It's rather thorough and much appreciated. I just had one question, and this may be visible on the drawings, but I didn't catch it. But how will the rooftop patio be screened?
So we've. Sorry, sir. I'm just going to go to the elevation. So there is a slight, I believe there's a slight parapet.
Revised drawings. You have some revised drawings.
It's not clear on the drawings, but there is a slight parapet on the rooftop. And then when we add the additional stairwells at the various ends, that will also help with the screening. So we can put in some additional screening along Bloor Street, but we'd have to do that by code in any event, in terms of barriers and things like that. So.
Okay, great. I was looking at your south elevation proposed, and wasn't quite sure how that would be screened. But thank you for that question, for that answer. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
I think this is a really good proposal, frankly, particularly relevant given the major development to the south, right? I mean, you have a fairly significant customer base. My only thought was noise. What's your thinking about, I mean, is the plan to have amplified noise deep into the evening, or?
That's not as far as I'm aware, that's not the intent. Okay. I know that committee in the past has put on restrictions as a condition. No amplified music or anything like that
past
beyond 11 o'clock.
First. Yeah, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, we like to do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
that's part of the noise bylaw in any event, but.
I mean, you make, I think, the important point in behind, it's just a church, it's TTC, and there isn't really that many residents, but rooftop patios have a way of
amplifying.
Noise carries when you're up higher.
Yep, so, I'm fine with that condition, and I have no concerns about it at all, because it's by law anyways, because of the noise bylaw.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question, especially because across the street there's going to be residents.
But
as well,
no amplifier music
after
just
11
after
o'clock,
or just any time.
I'm sure, it's a
We could
Bloor Street,
amplify-
it's a fairly busy street,
Yeah,
so
I
I
know,
don't,
yes, but on the other hand, after that, okay, maybe people.
I'm
should
okay as
go
long
to-
as it's not deep into the evening.
Yeah. By 11 o'clock is fine.
I'd probably say 10, but 11 is
10.
fine.
You go to bed early, do you, Don?
Sometimes.
Yes.
Would 10 o'clock be okay?
I'm in your hands.
Okay.
I believe the noise bylaw is 11 o'clock.
Yeah, well, that's why if we put in, I'm thinking maybe 10, just to,
I'm fine with 11 personally.
not too bothered either way. So.
And you're not going to fight?
No, no.
Okay, all right, so do we have a motion then? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, Mr. Wee. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make a motion. I think this is a really great proposal.
Yes.
I do appreciate the patios being pushed towards Bloor Street. I think that's really thoughtful. It's obviously, yeah, it's going to bring a lot of vibrancy and a really interesting model to this area where there's a lot of people who I have certainly walked by there and wanted to get something to eat. So, another option is excellent. So I'm happy to make a motion to approve this variance with the planning condition, with the TTC conditions, which I think you've already taken care of anyway, and also with the
No
condition that there be no amplified music after 11 p.m. And that's the planning condition. So with the planning condition, with the TTC condition, and with the condition that there be no amplified music after 11 p.m.
Yes. Mr. Dinos, Dinos, a second. All in favor with those two conditions, all in favor is
Three
approved
conditions.
unanimously.
Three conditions.
Three?
Yeah.
Oh,
Plan
yeah,
of
three
TDC,
conditions.
no, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the TDC, okay.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, so item number 5 is 394 Mortimer Avenue. This is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by demolishing the existing rear one-story addition and constructing a new rear addition, which is going to be a mudroom. And we have received survey, site plan, floor plan, elevations, 3 photographs of the property. And that's all we have received. They are seeking only 2 variances. We are ready for the agent or the applicant, please.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and we have 1 speaker in interest online.
In interest, okay. So that classifies as opposed, right? In interest, he's in support, or you don't know?
Shall we ask the person in interest?
All right, so.
So can we start?
Yes, we're ready, yeah. Give us your name and address, please, yeah.
Okay, my name is Helen. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, committee members. My name is Helen Wing Hee. Address 160 East Beaver Creek Road, Unit 24, Richmond Hill, Ontario. Representing the owner of 394 Mortimer Avenue. Our application is very straightforward. If you can go to the plan, A102.
Okay.
A102.
Yeah, it's the basement, the ground floor.
Is ground floor, 102.
Yes.
A102 is ground floor.
Okay.
See, the existing mudroom is 2.065 meters by 3.97 meters. And our proposed mudroom, if go to the next page, A103, the extension is only 1.6 meters. So the width will keep. The reason for the change is because the owner right now is living with her senior mother. The original landing, we'll go back to 102, is very narrow. It's very difficult for her senior mother who have a joint problem to go through that very narrow landing to the basement. Also, she also lives with her children, so it's very difficult it's also very dangerous for them to go through that small landing to the basement. So for adding only 1.6 meter to the back, all family members can have a safe and easy access to the basement for laundry and some private time. So in summary, this application or modification is only minor in nature and keep very easy access and safe access for our house consists of 3 generations.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, thank you. And we have another speaker who would like to speak to this application. We'll get you back to response. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now we will hear from the speaker at 396 Mortimer Avenue.
He's connected, right?
Hello?
Oh, okay. Wow. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
Okay, my real concern is about the extension of
excuse me, can you just give us your name, first and last
I'm
name?
sorry,
And your address.
My name is Wheatus Malcolm Smith. I'm at 396 Mortimer Avenue. I'm attached to the house that is in concern.
Okay.
My actual concern is they are extending their mud room. They're replacing it. They're taking it down and extending it. And everything is at the property line. So my concern is, are there going to be each trough over on my side with drainage? I have enough water coming from our mudroom as it is. And there's going to be some easement going on. It has to go in a little bit so they can contain the extension of the space. That's my concern.
That's the only concern you have, right?
That's my only concern. The property line, the extension, is there going to be an east trough, window, east trough, and the drainage of the water, really.
Yes.
And there's not very much room for anything.
Yes, before the applicant will respond to your concerns, I can actually tell you after this hearing, whether they approve, if they got approved, they still have to apply for a permit. During the building permit process, they will review all these technical issues. They are not allowed to have water directing to your side or anything like that.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be
and
water.
Also, the strict the code requirement for building at the property line 0 setback. So those issues will be taken care of during that steps, but that's all. And I would thank you for your comment, and would like to invite the applicant or the to respond. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, I really understand the concern of the neighbor. Technically, also the owner also have a problem of watering, because the improper construction of the old mudroom. So that's why they want to demolish the existing mudroom. have a proper construction with proper drainage, and also the new development have a lower actually have a shallow slope, and of course those drainage requirements will be taken care of by applying permit. Of course, they don't want their bathroom to be like a to be watertight, of course.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Any question to the applicant? No, we have no more questions. Now we are in committee. Yeah, anyone, quick, Ms. Crawford? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I would move to approve this application. The variances are relatively minor. It's a pretty small project. We just heard from potential negative impact that was cleared up by the chair. So I would move for approval of this this project.
Okay, no condition. Dylan, a second. All in favor, no conditions. All in favor, approve unanimously. Thank you. It's approved. So let's go to item number 6. Item number 6 is okay. Sorry, it's 125 SORAUREN. SORAUREN Avenue. This is to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling. It is a triplex currently, but by constructing a front first floor addition with a rear addition and a rear ground floor patio and a second-story deck. The existing rear exterior stairs will be demolished, and there will be a total of 1 residential unit on the lot. And we have survey, site plan, floor plan, elevation, 3 photographs, and cover letter from the agent, and also a decision affecting the subject property. And that's all we have received.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Yeah. And they're seeking 3 variances on this one. And we're ready for the agent. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Good morning, Madam Chair, committee members. My name is Bruno Lopes. I'm Excel Engineering and Associates, located at 1649 Sinclair Avenue West, representing the owner.
Okay. You do not have any opposition on this application. I want to see whether anyone needs a presentation. No. Questions? Yes, we do have some questions for you. We do not require a presentation from you. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a very quick question to the applicant's representative. So you're requesting 3 variances, and your letter explaining the proposal indicates that the applicant wants to return the dwelling to a single detached house from a triplex, which currently it is considered. With the 3 variances and the significance of some of the variances, I would typically, think that it would be the opposite. You're going from a single detached to maybe a duplex or a triplex. What's the reason for the switch back to a single detached dwelling?
Absolutely. Through you, Madam Chair. So yeah, it's a very interesting saying, because nowadays, yes, we are trying to go to more units, but the case is this homeowner already owns the house for over 10 years.
Chair, I can barely hear him. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can hear you, but it seems like unclear. Can you speak to your mic closer? Let's try to.
I'll try my best. So this homeowner, he already owns this property for over 10 years. So over the years, he actually been claiming one other unit, and after he gets to the point that it doesn't make sense for him anymore because the family is growing and he needs the space, so it doesn't make sense for him to have the units as they were. So this was an evolving situation through the years.
And so just to follow up, so in 2016, you had a previous Committee of Adjustment decision for 3 variances were very much the same, very similar to the variances you're requesting today. And that was also to convert the property from a duplex to a triplex. So that's all changed.
Absolutely. So the plan when he moved in, no children. When the family grows, the plan has to reverse to the original condition.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no questions. So we have no more questions for you. So we're in committee now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll take this. I actually, this is.
It's a big house for one person.
Yeah, it is. But you know, this neighborhood is it's not uncommon to have. I mean, there's a lot of apartments, a lot of rental units in there, but it's also not uncommon for seeing transition. It's a very desirable neighborhood. It's not surprising that we're seeing people want to either stay or relocate in here and have a more modern facility. The variances on the one hand seem significant, but given the density and the urban, the built form in this area, I don't think this is out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a reasonable. I'm looking at the elevations. The second-story balcony already has screening on it. I didn't think there was a landscaping variance, right? So, you know, they seem to have been able to accommodate the rear yard landscaping in the front. I noticed one of the earlier photos, it was paved in the front from an earlier street view, and the current owner or someone has put more soft landscaping into the front, which I think is a desirable aspect. So from my perspective, I thought this was a reasonable application, not out of character with some of the redevelopments that are happening in this neighborhood. So I think it's supportable, and I'm happy to move a motion to approve. Yeah. I think
no conditions.
there are no conditions, and I noticed that there is screening on
in
the plan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need to tie it to anything. I think it's probably fine. Okay, so motion to approve.
I'll second it. I'll just add one thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with my colleague, and I'll also note that there have been comparative variances approved by the Committee of Adjustment in this area that are very similar to what is being requested. So I will second that motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor? All in favor? Unanimously approve. Sorry. Oh, you're the owner? Okay.
Does he want to say anything?
Yeah. Good luck with the construction. Yeah, thank you. All right, so we move to item number 7. Is 191 ARGYLE Street. This is to construct a new 4-story detached houseplex with a covered front porch and stair, as well as a rear basement walkout. The rear 2-story portion of the building in the rear yard abutting the laneway, which will contain an integral garage on the ground floor and a dwelling unit on the second floor. The existing detached rear garage abutting the laneway will be demolished. There will be a total of 5 residential dwelling units on this lot with the house plus dwelling. We have received survey site plan, floor plan, elevations, 5 photographs, 3 protection plan from the agent, and also received email corresponding from co-examiner, and also from staff report from urban forestry and community planning. We receive oppositions. There's no Tommy, no surname or address provided, and also Christopher Travel from 193 ARGYLE Street, and 11 signature petition in opposition by owners of the in North Courtney Avenue and ARGYLE Street. We are ready for the agent.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and 2 speakers in opposition here in person.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Chair, I'm the agent. I'm David DeAndrea from Technical Design Studio.
Okay.
Our address is 1051 Martin Grove Road in Etobicoke.
Okay. You do have some opposition, so we require a presentation from you. But do you have a presentation you want to bring up on the screen first? Yeah.
Chair, just a point of clarification to the agent. I'm sure he's seen planning's recommendation to refuse.
Do you want to go straight to that?
Well, I just want to know whether he's seen that and whether he wants to proceed this morning with his application.
Yeah, exactly. But then we also have some oppositions because we have to deal with that too.
Why don't we just ask him, sir? Are you've seen the planning recommendations? Are you planning to proceed with your proposal today?
I have, yes. We've been in kind of a collaboration and discussions with the planning agent, John, that's written the recommendations, and we've had several kind of back and forth sessions with him. Unfortunately, based on the way the process works, this happens after the Committee of Adjustment application is made. But based on our discussions with him, we're prepared to proceed and at least discuss this application and in the worst case of your event, we'll ask for a deferral on it, but I think we are ready to proceed.
Yeah, okay, but I do not know. I think the question is that we actually, even ourselves, receive a very late staff report. It's in our supplemental material. They actually recommend us to refuse quite a number of variances. The question is, have you seen that report? That's one.
We have. I mean, I think there's some misunderstanding, and this is certainly a unique application. So I think we can refute and discuss all of the variances that on paper this application has. And yes, we've seen all the information and had multiple discussions with John.
Okay, so you're still all right.
Through you, Madam Chair. The question on the floor is, are you seeking a deferral, yes or no, or are you just we're going to hear the application today?
We would like to hear the application today.
Okay, so you're not requesting a deferral and you want a decision rendered today?
Correct, unless there's further, misunderstanding from the application, and then, we request a deferral.
No. You can't do that.
Yeah,
so
that's why we ask you now before we get into a decision.
So you're either going to make
our understanding in speaking with John was that, depending on the committee's understanding of the application as we make our presentation, we'd be able to ask for deferral, but
no. At this time, you need to decide. At this time, you need to decide. Okay. Are you requesting a deferral, or are you going to have the committee hear the application today to render a decision?
We would like to proceed today.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have already given you some kind of warning, only because if we do take their recommendation, all of them, you're left with nothing, only variance number 6, which is the exterior stair. It means that the whole proposal is not, if we're taking their advice or recommendation, I
think he wants to proceed, Chair.
Yeah. We still want to proceed.
He wants to proceed, so it's at his risk.
Yes, it's fine. So bring up you have a presentation you want to bring up, right? Some drawings, okay.
Correct.
We can start now. Thank you.
Okay, if we go to the next slide, we can see the current massing. And the slide after that is the proposed massing. And then we can go to the next slide and see the overlay between both the existing and the current massing. If we go to the next slide, I think this does a good job illustrating some of the confusion and complexities of this application. So our variance for both building depth, rear yard setback are actually caused because of the fact that there is a connecting basement for both the main house massing and the laneway massing. Without that connection, the proposed massing actually has a reduced rear yard setback. It has an open porch from the front yard, whereas the current existing massing has an enclosed porch, and the rear yard the rear yard setback for the laneway suite stays the same. So I think you can see the two areas highlighted in yellow. Those are both, improvements on the current setbacks and massing. When the building is viewed as one building, both the laneway and the main dwelling, then those setbacks are dramatically, different and require larger variances because of that. Other elements to this proposed massing are the stepped front facade, but the summary is that the proposed massing provides a reduced rear yard setback, an improved lot coverage number, reduced building depth for the above grade portion, and for concerns related to stormwater management, the entire area that's above the basement below grade will have a City of Toronto stormwater compliant green roof. The Zinco product that we're recommending, it has a better or equal to water absorption rate than native soil, so we can continue on, and that's a regulatory alignment with the Toronto Green Standard version 3. We go to the next slide. Hearing some concerns, after the fact from some of the neighbors and from the planner, I think the only variance that's really a sticky one is the building height. So this application was made in alignment with the major transit station area bylaw that was passed that allows for 4 stories in this area, which is the King Liberty area, but doesn't yet specify the height. We understand that coming down and currently being reviewed is a proposal to that bylaw where a 14-meter universal height would be proposed. But we've reduced the floor-to-floor heights and also lowered the basement to lower the overall height to around 12.5 meters in this drawing. And we've also, compared this with the geodetic elevations of both the neighbors and the proposed here. So this elevation sort of accurately represents what the height of the proposal could be above their dwellings. Next slide. I think that's it. Yeah, thank you so much.
So there are a couple other speakers. So we listen to the. Yeah, have you finished? Yeah,
absolutely.
You done? Yeah. Okay. So we move to the in-person speaker. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
My name is Christopher Tyrrell. I'm here along with my wife Joanna Grace to speak about the minor variance application for 191 Argyle Street as owners of adjacent property 193 Argyle Street. I respectfully ask the committee to refuse this application because, in my opinion, the proposal does not meet the 4 statutory tests under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act. First, I do not believe the variances are minor. This is not one small technical variance. The application includes several significant variances together. The permitted height is 11 meters, but the proposal is 13.56 meters. The permitted building depth is 17 meters, but the proposal is 26.9 meters. The required rear yard setback is 7.5 meters, but only 1 meter is proposed. The side yard setback at the rear portion is also proposed at 0 meters. These are major changes in height, depth, massing, and setbacks, not minor adjustments. Second, I do not believe the proposal is desirable for the appropriate development of the land. The lot frontage is only 4.98 meters, yet the proposal is for a 4-story houseplex plus a laneway suite totaling 5 dwelling units. On such a narrow lot, this creates a building that is too tall, too deep, too intense for the site. The impact is not only on the subject property, but also on neighboring homes through overlook, loss of privacy, reduced sunlight, shadowing, and a boxed-in rear yard condition. Third, I do not believe the proposal maintains the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. The zoning rules for height, building depth, rear yard setback, side yard setback, and main wall height exist to control massing, protect privacy, preserve rear yard open space, and maintain reasonable separation between buildings. This proposal exceeds or reduces several of those standards at the same time. In particular, the building depth increases from the permitted 17 meters to 26.9 meters, and the rear yard setback is reduced from 7.5 meters to 1 meter. This substantially defeats the purpose of those zoning controls. Fourth, I do not believe the proposal maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan. The official plan supports housing and intensification, but it also requires development to respect and reinforce the existing physical character of the neighborhood. A 4-story, 4-unit houseplex plus a laneway suite on a narrow 4.98 meter lot with excessive height, depth, very tall main walls, and minimal rear yard separation does not fit the established low-rise residential character of the area. The cumulative impact is the key issue. Each variance may be listed separately, but together they create an overbuilt condition. The result is a building that is higher, deeper, closer to lot lines, and more intensive than what the zoning bylaw intended. I'm not opposed to housing or reasonable improvement of the property. In fact, I would support a proposal that allows for 2 units in the main house plus a laneway suite. However, this proposal goes too far and creates unacceptable impacts on privacy, sunlight, rear yard space, neighborhood character, and neighboring property enjoyment. For these reasons, I respectfully request the committee refuse the variances. Alternatively, the application should be deferred and the applicant should be required to redesign the proposal with reduced height, reduced building depth, greater rear yard setback, reduced rear massing, and better transition to neighboring properties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions
A
for
question?
this?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I'm not sure if it was you or one of the other folks that wrote in, but you raised concerns about the height and the height relative to a couple of structures that are there. There's a 3-story to one side, and then there's a smaller home, and then what looks like a larger 3-story on the other side. I think it was you or someone implied that the renderings were not accurate in the sense that
yeah, just in that one that the artist's rendering,
yeah,
it doesn't look right to me.
I mean, I'm just wondering what the relative height of the proposal is compared to particularly that rather large white home.
Yes, that I think that the new home is higher than that white building on the corner.
Okay. We'll ask the agent to clarify that as well, but I did note someone made that point in the correspondence.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any question to this speaker first? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
We have finished. Yeah.
Just so you know, my wife is here to speak also on the same property, 191.
Do you? How much time you used before?
So she's speaking on behalf of 189.
Oh, on behalf of 189. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a different address. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
But it's regarding 191.
I know. She's representing a different address from you. You're 193. Yeah.
Hello, members of the committee. My name is Joanna Grace. I reside at 193 Argyle. I'm reading a letter from Josh Varghese and Brittany Banks of 189 Argyle. They write the property immediately east of and directly abutting the subject property at 191 Argyle. They write, our home shares a side property line with the subject lot for its full length. Of every property owner who has written to you on this application, none are more directly affected by the proposed built form than we and the owners of 193 Argyle. We write in support of the objection submitted by Christopher Tyrrell at 193 Argyle Street and signed by the surrounding neighbors, and to add the specific evidence of impact on our property, evidence that goes to support the 4 statutory tests under S45(1) under the Planning Act. The proposed building shares its full east side property line with our home. The drawings before the committee disclose the following impacts on our property. Wall length and height against our property line. The proposed main building runs 26.9 meters deep, of which approximately the rear 13 to 14 meters will extend past the rear wall of our house. That means roughly half a city block's worth of 4-story wall. 13.56 meters tall, will run directly along our shared property line, looking over the most private and most used portion of our lot, our rear yard and rear-facing windows. The 0 side yard setback at the rear. The applicant is proposing to build directly on our shared property line. There is no separation, no air gap, no light well. The wall sits on the line. There's overlook from habitable rooms on every floor. The upper floor plans show bedrooms and living areas with east-facing exposure directly onto our property. We will have habitable room overlook into our rear yard from grade level and from every floor above it at a distance of 0 to 1 meter from our property line. This eliminates the privacy of our rear yard. There's also shadow and morning light impact. Because the subject property is to the west of ours, the proposed 13.56 meter wall will block our morning and midday sun and cast shadows eastward across our rear yard and rear-facing windows during the hours we actually use them. The committee should require a shadow study before considering this application further. There's a loss of property value. The combined effect of overlook, shadowing, light loss, and a 4-story blank wall on the property line is a material and quantifiable diminution in the market value of 189 Argyle. We are happy to provide a valuation opinion to the committee if that would assist. And the proposal does not maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. The rear yard setback, building depth, and side yard setback standards in the RD 1.0 x 804 zone are an integrated control on rear yard massing. They protect 3 things: the amenity of the subject property's own rear yard, the amenity of adjacent rear yards, and the continuity of the mid-block open space corridor that runs the length of every Toronto block of this topology. This proposal extinguishes all 3 at once. A building extending 26.9 meters back within 1 meter of the rear lot line and 0 meters of the shared lot line does not represent the bylaw's intent, it inverts it. And the proposal does not maintain the general intent and proposed purpose of the official plan. The official plan supports intensification in neighborhoods, but S415 requires that new development respect and reinforce the existing physical character of the area with reference to prevailing heights, massing, scale, setbacks, and the relationship to adjacent properties. Respect and reinforce is not satisfied by a proposal that exceeds the prevailing built form on every dimension simultaneously on the narrowest lot on the block with 0 setback from the adjacent residential properties. For this reasons, we respectfully request that the committee refuse this application. In the alternative, that the applicant be directed to bring back a revised proposal that includes reduced building depth to within or close to the 7-meter bylaw standard, to provide a meaningful rear yard, the 7.5-meter bylaw setback, that it provides a non-zero side yard setback along the entire length of the building with no habitable room windows on the east elevation at the rear portion, that it reduces overall height and main wall height to the bylaw standard, and that it includes a shadow study and an overlook privacy analysis prepared by a qualified planner. We thank the committee for considering our perspective. Respectfully submitted, Josh Varghese and Brittany Banks, owners of 189 Argyle Street, Toronto.
Thank you. You just make it. Thank you. Any question to this letter? Or this? Okay. Yeah. I just want to have a very quick question because I'm looking at the Google map, aerial map. It seems that 189, the garage is actually attached to 191.
193
Yeah.
and 191, our garage is at the back there, and the laneway were built at the same time and
have the same roof
built
almost.
as one
The
building,
roof,
and
yeah.
we share a wall.
Oh yeah, that's what I am seeing. Okay, thank you. Yes, yeah. Okay. So if they are going to do the renovation, they have to cut that and then they,
Yeah, I do have some concern that
yeah, thank you.
I'm going to lose that wall.
Yeah, I just want to understand it. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, let's bring back the agent to address to these speakers' concerns. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So,
Yes.
as we discussed, I mean, we totally understand the concerns based on the variances that are identified on paper, but I think in reality, the variances are much different. And like I said, the variances are written on paper due to the fact that the laneway suite and the main dwelling are connected below grade. So if you go to even this drawing here, that's showing the existing footprint in the gray hatch, you can see it. Yeah, you can see that the existing dwelling's footprint extends further south past the neighboring house than the proposed footprint. In terms of the side lot lines, the proposed matches what's existing in terms of the setbacks there, and the building depth, the rear yard setback are only written as they are for variances based on the fact that the planners had to consider the laneway suite itself as the rear yard setback, right? So in fact, we are maintaining that 7.5 meters and actually improving on it relative to what's the existing condition. The only variance that's requested here that I think is let's say more dramatic than what's existing is the building height. And as I said, we're prepared to address that and reduce that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that's, yeah, you have questions? Yeah, I do have some questions too. Okay, I have a question which is like a two-part question. The first part is, do you have rear yard soft landscaping requirement?
Because it's considered as one dwelling, we don't, but as I said, we're actually improving the amount of rear yard setback and reducing the lot coverage.
No,
So,
I mean soft landscaping, you do not have, I know there's no variances on the rear yard soft landscape. You do not require any soft landscaping in the rear yard?
correct.
Oh, that's very new to
But
me.
regardless, we've provided, you know, both the green roof and we've provided a permeable strategy on the south side of the laneway suite garage as well.
Oh, it's just a surprise to me if it's zero requirement. I thought that there may be a variance missing.
Yeah, and that's due to the fact that it's a multiplex and the laneway suite and main dwelling are all considered as one building again. So it's just a little bit of a nuance with the bylaw. And if we were to require that, I think the proposal would be compliant with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. I will say this is a rather interesting and unique approach to adding additional residential dwelling units in this neighborhood. I do have a number of concerns with the application. So let me ask a couple of questions of the representative. So first of all, you talk about the intensive green roof that is proposed between the rear wall of the main house and what is, for lack of other terms, a laneway suite, but because it's connected below ground. Can you plant trees in that on that green roof?
So it is an extensive green roof. The product that we included in the presentation allows for green coverage, but we've also included a raised planter. If you're looking at the rear yard landscape plan.
No, I see that. Sorry, sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear.
It's both a combination of both. Yeah.
So you can plant trees.
Well, so we provided a raised planter, as you see in this, as well, to plant a tree in the backyard.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's not my question. My question is, can you plant trees or shrubs in the green roof?
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard the colloquial term iceberg home?
I have.
Would you suggest or agree with me that this is an iceberg home as coined through a report to council called Growing Space for Trees, Protecting and Enhancing the Tree Canopy while supporting infill housing and addressing concerns with iceberg homes?
Correct. Yeah. It absolutely is an iceberg home, and I think you know, in a lot that's so narrow, you know, 16 meters, when we're trying to increase density, I think if there is an application type where an iceberg home makes sense, it would be this type of application. And I think to counter the iceberg home, like I said, the extensive green roof in the back is a good option to counter the negative effects of typical iceberg homes.
And you're aware that that report and recommendations from staff were adopted by council as draft OPA 857?
Correct.
All right, that has not come into force yet for technical reasons, but the concern expressed by staff and concurred with by council, especially with respect to iceberg homes, was that iceberg homes contribute to increased amounts of embodied carbon associated with development below grade. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Okay. Do you agree that the variance for depth is required because of the connection from underground or below grade with the main house to what is a laneway suite?
Correct. That's the why it's labeled as such. Yep.
Okay, and if that below grade connection was not there, this would be, for all intents and purposes, a main house and a laneway suite proposal, correct? For five total residential units.
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
And would you have additional variances required that you currently don't have or required to have for this proposal?
There would be, but they'd be, you know, very minor in nature, and in some cases, you know, improvements on the existing or the same in terms of the side yard setbacks as the existing.
Do you think that you would be able to provide the building at the rear, which again I'll use the term laneway suite because it does abut a laneway? Do you think that you'd be able to provide that in terms of separation, distance, and height, etc., based on the plans that are before us?
I do, yes.
So you would be able to provide a 7.5 meter separation distance between the main house and the laneway suite, and a variance for 2 stories for the laneway suite?
Oh, well, yeah, in that case, we'd have to reassess the setback and the setback of the laneway suite from the main dwelling and you know, reassess some items, but I think it's possible to do that, yes.
But to use your term, you said they would be minor, those variances, in your opinion.
Well, minor in terms of the, you know, the building depth is then, you know, obviously much different than what's proposed here. It's just in terms of if it's considered the main dwelling or taken from the laneway suite, as you said, to call it a laneway suite for lack of a better term.
Okay, I think that we should not go to down that road because it's not proposed. When we're discussing something, it's not being proposed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I understand that, but it does go to my concerns about this application. And the last question, with all due respect, this is proposed 4-story, but it's got 5 levels, correct?
It's 4 stories above grade, 1 below grade.
So 5 levels.
5 levels, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Including the basement.
Yes, we have more questions. Yeah, Mr. Reed and also Mr. Clay.
Yeah, so you're saying that there's 3 units in the main building, but are the units, is that including the grandparent suite and the nanny and the basement and the nanny suite at the top, or are those the 3?
That's correct.
Yeah. But you don't have any separate entrances for those?
We don't, but I mean, we have, you know, later on in life when the grandparents are no longer with us, we have kind of enabled a separate entrance potentially in the plans here for the basement.
So, but you're claiming that there's 3 units, but in fact, those in that building, but in fact, one of those is a grandparent suite in units, and one of the units you're claiming is the nanny suite. Is that correct?
Correct. And there's still 2 additional units in the laneway suite as well.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That do have separate.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was going to. If you read the planning staff report, and read between the lines, what they're basically saying is that this really isn't a multiplex by definition under the bylaw. And if I was being unkind, I'd say the multiplex variances or bylaws are a little bit more generous than the bylaws that would apply to a single-family dwelling in terms of setbacks and height and such. So this feels like you're using the multiplex provisions for what right now isn't a multiplex. And that's where I'm stuck on this one, is that it doesn't feel, based on what your drawings show and your floor plans and footprints show, as being what the city would consider to be a true multiplex. So if this is a single-family dwelling with an accessory unit for grandparents or something different, then I wonder whether the variances that you would need would be different than the ones that are before us today. So I'm given the planning staff report and recommendations, and we don't have anything at this point to suggest otherwise.
Yes, we have
I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this application, there's no question in there necessarily, unless you want to refute what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying.
So just give him a chance.
We should just stick to questions.
No, I'm just, that's sort of a question
okay.
shrouded in a statement.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a good question. I think, to provide the laneway suite with 2 dwelling units that each have their own separate entrance, which this does. So if you were to not consider the grandparent and nanny suite that are located in the main dwelling, right? We still have 3 total dwelling units between both the laneway building and the main dwelling. And the 2 dwelling units in the laneway suite have separate entrances. So that as in itself is 3 units, which is considered as a multiplex here. But to your point, we wouldn't be able to provide that 3rd unit, say, in the basement of the laneway, both without the iceberg strategy and without all of the other associated variances with this application. So to increase that basement area of the laneway unit, which does enable this to be a multi-unit residential proposal, that's what we had to do. And given how narrow the lot is, there's not a ton of superfluous living space for the main couple in the main dwelling unit. So I think that's kind of the crux of what this proposal is and how it achieves that. In addition, like I said, it would be pretty simple for us to propose a separate and discrete unit to the basement dwelling unit of the main house. That's something that we totally can do as a condition. But I think taking that out of the equation, still simply the laneway 2 units and the unit of the main dwelling unit is compliant to the definition of a multi-unit residential.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, so if it wasn't attached, you would actually need a variance for having 2 units in the laneway house, right? Because normally you're only allowed to have 1.
Correct. If it wasn't attached,
I just wanted to
it would
confirm
be
that.
a
Thank you.
different proposal, and that's why this is sort of a creative and unique approach to this, I think. But understandably, it has its complexities, which we're all trying to grapple with here. So, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Now we're in committee. Can I start? You can. I can start first, because I think that we spend a lot of time with taking this as a discussion, what it could have been, what it. But I'm going back to the basics. I'm going back to what they're asking in terms of variances. And I cannot support is the site coverage. I see it as iceberg development. And despite what the argument is,
to the extent that it actually fill up the whole site below grade. You have looked at all the setbacks. Secondly, I can, of course, in that case, I cannot really support variance number 3, the length, and also the side, the back rear yard setback, which is reduced to 1 meter. If it's the same as is proposed, I'm not talking about it could have been something else. And also, I disagree with the introducing so-called green roof representing the compensation of soft landscaping, because under the definition of soft landscaping, it has to be at grade. And it's got a reason for that. It's all to do with environmental issues with the amount of soil, with the whatever. They have done a lot of study on that. So the green roof usually sometimes is an incentive, but it's only allowed to have a reduction of your soft landscaping. In this case, they said there's one building they not require any kind of soft landscaping in the rear yard. But in terms of the context, it had no soft landscaping except a green roof, which is to be considered half of a soft landscaping. And I think that this is overly overdeveloped. It's a very narrow site, and I just cannot. I find that the planning report, they do worry about the massing, which does not bother me so much as is these 2 variants, number 1 and 3. And they recommend to refuse the more than 5 variances, but I can pass the other one, but 1 and 3, I don't think I will support those 2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my thought, I disagree with the ad agent that this is creative. I think it's bizarre and also misleading deliberately. First of all, the main building is in fact a single-family home.
Yeah.
In which case, I don't think that 4 stories are justified. Like maybe if it was a true multiplex, we would consider that, but at the moment, no. It's a single-family home. So I think that that's, again, you know, I think it's a misleading, deliberately misleading application. The green roof is not soft landscaping. That's well established.
Yeah.
You cannot say that green roof is soft landscaping. So there should be soft landscaping in this space, and there isn't, effectively. So that's not appropriate. The laneway basement apartment would normally require an extra variance if it wasn't attached. And also, honestly, it looks like a dungeon to me. It doesn't seem like a good or a really beneficial
There's no
additional
windows
space.
at the back.
There's a tiny little windows through a light well. It's a strange thing. So I think that this is really a really bad proposal in many, many different ways. I think we should reject it completely. I would hope that eventually we get a sensible proposal for a single laneway suite above the garage and a single family home, which they can certainly propose an attractive adaptation of a single family home at the front, which would be a much more straightforward and reasonable and entirely in line with what's available. So I look forward to that in the future, but this one I think needs to be rejected. It's not a good thing at all.
Okay. Any other comment? Yeah. Yes.
I concur with my colleagues. I think it's too big, too much impact. There's difficulties with the structuring of the application. Planning staff is recommending refusal for those reasons. I think good suggestions have been made to the applicant going forward. And perhaps he would even entertain those. He seemed to discuss the idea of deferral at the beginning, although now we've gone forward with this application, but perhaps he could take some information from the suggestions that have been made.
Good. Yes, Mr. Lombardi, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I actually think it's an interesting and unique approach. And as we know, City Council over the last number of years, has considered expanding options for increasing residential development in these types of neighborhoods. And my queries to the applicant were not, as suggested, characterization of something that could be proposed. It's not before us. It was simply an attempt to expose what was, I think, a circumvention or perhaps obfuscation of what was being actually, proposed and what this proposal really is and what it represents. I agree with my colleagues that this is overdevelopment. I think that the 6 variances, well, specifically variances 1 to 5, do not satisfy the forest tests in the Planning Act. They are not, in my opinion, minor, and therefore I would not support this application. Certainly, I would recommend that the applicant review this proposal and perhaps come back with something that is different and something that is more straightforward. But yeah, I won't be supporting this. Thank you.
Yes.
I have nothing to add.
Good.
I think everyone's covered off all the points.
Yes. So, Mr. Wee, would you like to do a motion, please?
I'll move a motion to refuse all of these variances.
Yes. So I second. Mr. Craig, second. Yeah. All in favor to refuse? All in favor? Unanimously refuse. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. It's refused. Yeah.
Madam Secretary Treasurer, may we take a 15-minute break?
15?
10.
Oh, 10 minutes? Okay.
10 minutes would be great.
Please turn off your videos, microphones. Please mute.
Yeah, we're going to recess 10 minutes, yes. Oh, I'm on the roll. Why we take... Oh, sorry. Okay. And Dino second, right? Just now. He second.
Or was it Larry?
Oh, no, Larry second, yeah. I think if they can bring that house actually, because you have to solar, if it's only
no one. It's always the case. It's always.
It's always leftovers, right? Always. Always.
So you consider the back person if you don't.
We have a couple warm up. Her resume is already hit that one.
This one, yeah. 20, high 20s. Oh, where are you gonna go?
It's that moment.
Nice. Have you been?
No, my wife's been there. She keeps kept telling me that we should go.
Yeah.
And then one of her French daughters is getting married there. So here's an opportunity.
Are you going elsewhere?
You've been in the city, yeah, a little time. Yeah, well, when my wife being taught me out, she was in
Sort of culture is so different.
You know what I mean?
What I hear people say.
We're going to a different culture next.
That'll be nice.
I was in New York last week.
Oh, yeah, you had your bike?
Yeah.
How was it?
That was really cool. Well, first of all, that was
good weather?
Yeah, that's the point. 2 years ago, when we went, it was rainy and cold. This time, it was a little cool, a little gusty,
Don't want it too
but it
hot.
was sunny and dry. So 32,000 rides.
How many kilometers?
It's 65 kilometers.
And is it like a tour, like they're telling you things are actually?
No, it's
Just
you're
a
all,
ride.
everyone's just riding, but you start in the financial district and you ride up 6th Avenue. So you go by a bunch of really cool stuff. And it's like the marathon. There's cops at every single intersection blocking traffic. So it's a free, there's no cars on, and it's really quite lovely. And then you go through Central Park, which is cool, then over into the Bronx, then through Queens, down to Brooklyn. You end up taking the Verrazano Bridge, which is a mile up and a mile down. You're tired by that time. And it was gusty, and it was literally, you were getting blown. People were, a lot of people just walking. And then you end up on Staten Island, and then from Claxon, get food and stuff. Then you have to ride another 4 miles from there to the ferry house. And the way you get back to Manhattan, everyone takes, they charter the ferry, and everyone takes the ferry. Yeah, it's fabulous. The fact that it was dry and sunny.
Oh, you're lucky.
Oh,
You're lucky.
what a difference.
What a logistical feat, though.
It's easy, again, the amount of, it's almost the same as it's all planning on here. In fact, it's probably more because the route's longer. Although the marathon, but it's just a bit of
I see. Yeah, but I think that if you join the groups with I forgot what is it, Toronto Right or something? It's a non-profit, and then they have a lot of different. Yeah. You can go. You should Google. I don't exactly remember the name, but it's somewhere Toronto Right. They have a lot of activities. Yeah. Because I'm not very good biker. I signed up just to improve my riding. But if you have a group supporting you, it's very good.
You're not racing.
Yeah, they actually a lot of activities. Pardon me?
You did a great job on the last file.
Oh, really? Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, you have to focus on it. You cannot take up the whole site. It's really the site. Just build it all up.
Okay. Let's turn on our videos, microphones. Let's mute the room. Unmute the room.
Okay. Good? Yeah.
Everyone's video is on.
Okay. We resume. The next item is item 8, 78 Springhurst Avenue. This is to legalize and maintain a front entrance and is an uncovered access ramp which was constructed without authorized building permit. Is attached to the front porch of the existing two-story detached dwelling, which is either a hostel or shelter. It's a copy. We have received a copy of survey site plan, floor plan elevations, 2 photographs, and also an order to comply. And that's all the material we have received, and we're ready for the agent or the applicant. Yeah. Do we have other speakers other than the agent speaker?
Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Oh, okay. No other one. All right.
Andrew Trotter, 81 St. Clarence Avenue, Toronto.
Oh, okay. It's not a contested application, so do you guys want, we do not need a presentation from you. Do you have any question for this applicant?
Maybe we can just very briefly hear why it was built without the permit.
Oh, yeah, very briefly, just address why it's built without a permit. Yes.
Okay, well, the place is basically it's the residence to 3 sort of ailing people that the house is owned by the University Health Hospital, and so they had a kind of an emergency situation where they needed the ramp. They felt that the ramp was really built as a temporary ramp. It will be dismantled in September as they're going to be combining the 3 buildings into one. All the buildings that building and 2 neighboring properties are going to be torn down, and a new institution is going to be built by the hospital. So they felt, and one thing the contractors commonly make misconceptions about is anything under 24 inches doesn't need a permit. This is something that contractors just seem to have in their head. So that was wrong that they built that, and they got hit with a $13,000 committee of adjustment fee, which was probably double the cost of the ramp. So, they've certainly taken a hit for it. But this 24-inch thing is definitely a problem with a lot of contractors, and and also the fact that they needed this quite quickly for the patient.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. That's good.
Good story.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so we have no more questions, and we have studied all the material, so we are ready to discuss this. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to make a motion to approve the variance. It's obviously for a good cause. It doesn't impact the sidewalk. I can understand the need, sort of emergency need, and not really realizing that, so I'm happy to move variance. I don't even think I need to put the usual things.
Yeah.
So.
No. So somebody didn't second. All in favor with no conditions. All in favor is unanimously approved. Thank you. It's approved. Yeah. All right. The item number 9 is 103 HUMBERVIEW Road. This is to alter existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a 2-story front addition, and a rear 2-story addition, and a rear 1-story addition, and a rear basement walkout, and a first floor deck, and a front covered porch with stairs, and a front integral garage. We have received a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevation, 3 photographs, and a cover letter from the agent. We also have TRCA permit and presentation material from the agent, and we have received comment from transportation engineering, from urban forestry, and also one letter of support from 101 HUMBERVIEW Road. Yeah, that's all the material we have received.
To you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
There's no other speakers?
No speakers.
Okay, yeah.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Sasha Lee, and I'm the architect representing the homeowners at 103 HUMBERVIEW Road. My office is located at 19 Staves Bank Road in Mississauga.
Okay. No one's opposing your application, so I do not know whether our panel wants to have presentation. No. Do I have questions?
No.
No, I checked. They don't have questions either. So we have actually reviewed all the material you have sent in. We are ready to discuss this. But do you have anything you want to address the panel?
No, I was going to say that I have a presentation available. We've obviously done our due diligence with TRCA and obtained a permit with them. I do have 2 additional letters of support. Unfortunately, they didn't make it in advance, but I'm happy to provide those if required. And
just tell us can you tell us the support letter, the addresses? Yeah.
Yeah, one was from 99 HUMBERVIEW Road, which is the neighbor 2 doors down. The other one is from 49 Babby Point, which is the neighbor directly to the west on top of the ravine.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a good. All right. You have a question?
Are we in committee? Sorry.
Yeah. So we don't have any more questions. We are now in committee. That's
Happy to take this one, Chair. Yeah, this looks like a lot of variances, but this is actually no impact at all on anyone. It's a home on the last home on a dead end overlooking the river, and lots of support letters. There's no negative impact of all these variances on anyone. I think it's a very straightforward and actually relatively attractive application. If no one else has any comments, I'm happy to move a motion on this one.
Okay. No conditions, right?
There's no conditions. TRCA seems to be okay, so yeah, no conditions.
Okay. Mr. Crawford, you're on second?
Yes, I'll second.
Yeah. All in favor with no conditions? All in favor, unanimously approved. Thank you. And item number 10 is 35 and 37 Baseball Place. This is to permit a vehicle dealership and use. I'm so sorry. It's dealership use and vehicle service. With the existing ground floor commercial unit of the big mixed-use building, we have received a plan or survey, site plans, floor plans and elevations, a red line notice, and 4 photographs and cover letter from the agent and decision affecting the property and materials and from the agent, and also a copy of letters sent to neighbors. We have received staff report from the community planning, and we have 1 page and a quarter, actually a 1.5 page long signature of opposition, and altogether I think is maybe 182 signatures. So I'm not going to read all 182, but there's a lot of opposition. And we are ready for the agent, but I do know that they have made some revisions on the purpose of the application, and maybe the agent can come up and give us your name and address, and also let's go through the revision first before the
To you, Madam Chair, we have the agent here in person, and we have a couple of speakers in opposition,
how
online
many?
and in person.
How many want to speak?
There are 9 speakers.
9 speakers, okay. Yeah, all right.
Sorry, 10 speakers, and 2 speakers are from the same unit.
From the same unit. So just a quick note to the other speakers that if you're from the same address, the total time is still 5 minutes. And if you have heard the people in front of you giving this kind of comment, the same comment that you are going to make, you can actually let us know so that we do not are going to have to deal with repeated same comments. Okay, thank you. Now we're ready. Yeah, please your name and address. Yeah.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Michael Mathis. I'm a registered professional planner with WW+P Architects and Planners, here representing the owner who has an interest in the unit.
Yes, and you do have some important revision.
That's correct.
Let's go through that
Thank
first.
you for flagging those. So our initial public notice for the variance was for 2 uses, vehicle dealership and vehicle service shop, and that was an error. The application and proposal has only ever been for a vehicle dealership. It does not include a vehicle service shop.
Mm-hmm.
So in discussion with community planning, we've revised that public notice to limit the variance to only permit a vehicle dealership, not a vehicle service use.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware of the objections that residents of the existing auto community around us have raised.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that particular change would address all of their uses. I expect we'll hear from them during their deputations, but a number of them did raise concerns with a service use. So I'm confident that it would address at least partially some of their concerns.
Mm-hmm. So the revision or the correction was made after the notice was sent out, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
so
made
some of them
last
might not
week.
know that.
It was made last week.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. That's all. All right, so now you have 5 minutes to make your presentation, but you can wait till we bring up your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't start until. Do you have a presentation we can bring up?
Yeah, I think it's up there.
Okay.
That's great. So if we go to the next slide, the commercial unit is located at the corner of Baseball Place, which is a private laneway that connects between East Don Roadway, sorry, I don't know what the feedback is, up to Queen Street East. And there are, as many folks may be aware, existing dealerships that are located on the property, and those are marked in blue. Next slide, please. This is a rendering of the unit as viewed from Baseball Place looking east. This is an existing commercial unit with residential uses above. And the proposal is to fit out the unit so that it can be used as a vehicle dealership. My client has a pending agreement with Cadillac to institute a Cadillac dealership there. The format would be small scale and boutique. There wouldn't be any direct vehicle sales from this unit. People would just go to the unit to view the vehicles and the product, and vehicles are stored elsewhere on site as part of the existing dealership's kind of storage area. So if people wanted to test drive vehicles, they'd be leaving from that existing area where that function already occurs. Next slide. So in terms of the zoning and requested variances, we're zoned under the commercial residential zone with a site-specific exemption 32. Just to note that there are a variety of uses that are permitted under the commercial residential zone with conditions, including retail, service, and store. Vehicle dealerships are also, by the basic requirements of the CR zone, permitted, but the site-specific exemption prevents them on this particular parcel. On the next slide, you can see how the lot is divided under the site-specific zoning into two parcels. The parcel division was really an artifact of phasing. So parcel B represents the latter phases of development. The original intent of the site-specific zoning bylaw was to locate dealerships that were already existing on the site off of Queen Street East. This commercial unit is still located a good distance, approximately 50 meters from Queen Street East. And only one variance is sought, which is to permit the vehicle dealership. On the next slide, and getting to the 4 tests under the Planning Act. So in my professional opinion, the proposal meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan. So the site is designated as mixed-use areas. Vehicle dealerships are permitted in mixed-use areas. It aligns with the official plan in other respects. So as I mentioned, there won't be any automobile servicing, repair, or other mechanical work that will happen on the site. So this helps to assure that there's compatibility between this non-residential use and residential uses above. It will also locate the dealership away from Queen Street East and preserve that kind of pedestrian-oriented character. Delivery of new vehicles to the unit, and I'll get to this on a subsequent slide, occurs through rear laneways. So again, helping to preserve kind of the pedestrian integrity around Baseball Place. Next slide. This slide shows then the 2 vehicle bays highlighted in blue where deliveries would happen off of the rear laneway. And then on the next slide, it shows very clearly how there's just pedestrian activity oriented on Baseball Place and then vehicle delivery from the rear. And then on the next slide, to speak to the zoning bylaw, as I mentioned, when it was originally crafted, the intent was to consolidate vehicle dealerships, take them away from Queen Street East. We still maintain that intent and purpose of our site-specific zoning by virtue of this commercial unit's location, which is about 50 meters from Queen Street East. Next slide. Getting to it being minor in nature and desirable. So I think it's worth noting that vehicle dealerships are not a prohibited use under the CR zone. We are, as I mentioned, still located away from Queen Street East. This is an existing commercial unit, which again gets to why this proposal is desirable. We're making use of an existing commercial unit for a commercial use. And it's really retailing at a small scale and kind of boutique level that we're proposing on this site.
All right. Do you want to ask questions now, or we wait till the other speaker?
We can wait.
Yeah, because there are quite a few speakers are going to hear them,
Sure.
and then we'll bring you back to respond to the concerns. Okay.
Good.
Hi, morning. Madam Chair and esteemed members of the committee, good morning. My name is Northern Elviticular, and I, along with my wife, who's currently at work and listening to this call, are homeowners, long-term homeowners and residents at 30 Baseball Place. So I'm here today to speak on behalf of hundreds of our neighbors at 15, 25, 30, and 45 Baseball Place to strongly oppose the minor variance application of a car dealership at 3537 Baseball Place, which, if approved, would be the 9th car service center or dealership established right within our complex. There is a reason why our complex is called Baseball Place. This exact site was home to the Toronto baseball grounds. For over a century, the history of this place has been about building community. So when our residential complex was built, we were promised a complete community with a pedestrian plaza and a major grocery store, a modern version of a community hub. Honestly, our main concern with this proposal is what value is this car dealership going to bring to our community? Not just to our community, but to the wider community at large in South Riverdale. Whilst we support local businesses, we already have 8 car service centers or dealerships within our complex. We certainly don't need a 9th one. We already experience the impact of the existing dealerships on a daily basis. Spaces that could have served as communal parking spaces have effectively been allocated to the storage of luxury unused vehicles. There's also the issue of ongoing disruptions that exist with these operations, including increased noise, emissions, and increased traffic, which we certainly do not want to see increase if this variance passes. In what is meant to be a residential neighborhood, right, where families with children and pets live. To be clear, we're not against DAG or the businesses that they already operate here. These businesses already exist, and we coexist with them. But at some point, there has to be a limit. A 9th dealership brings absolutely zero benefit to the people actually living here. It does not improve our daily life as residents, nor does it add needed services, but most importantly, it does not contribute to building towards the city's vision of a complete community. This proposal also goes against the neighborhood's official plan, as this site was zoned for residential purposes and not for heavy-duty, heavy commercial or industrial use. What we desperately need, and what would serve not just us, but also the wider community of thousands of people around us, is an establishment that would serve the needs of everyone. Another car dealership does not serve our needs, nor does it meet the city's vision of a complete community. What we're asking for is simply balance. This is one of the fastest growing residential communities in the city. Families, young professionals, seniors, and people who rely on transit and walkability to necessary essential services chose to live here because this community was supposed to support residential life. But the proposed variance is completely not in accordance to what this space was originally presented as. As we know, there are public records and plans referenced where this location was referenced as a future grocery retail space. We're not asking for that, but we're saying any community-driven business that would serve the community. Something that residents have been waiting on for years because it would actually serve the needs of our neighborhood. We invite the city to please walk on our streets. You will see that we are a proud bunch of residents of a beautiful, vibrant, and diverse community of all backgrounds and cultures. A great example of the City of Toronto's motto, diversity our strength. We are an example of this city's motto. So all we ask is diversity in the basic services provided. This is why we strongly believe that this is not a minor variance in any real sense. With hundreds of petition signatures and multiple letters of opposition from our fellow neighbors, the people have clearly spoken here. So we respectfully ask the city to reject this application and please prioritize developments to pave the way for establishments and services that actually support the people living in our community and the wider community in South Riverdale. Thank you.
Some questions for you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. Thank you for that eloquent deputation. I don't live, obviously, in the area, but I did spend the weekend visiting and walking. So the laneways are tight. I mean, there were a lot of people walking between buildings. As you traverse the baseball place, which I was going to ask you why, the origin of that term, but it makes sense now. And you go west towards the car dealerships. The car dealerships that face the East Don Way do back onto that laneway.
Sure.
And so there are, I don't know, there were 9 or 10 back areas. And it's now really almost fully developed with a lot of residential. So are you concerned about additional noise, or is there noise? Is there what is the impact of an additional use like this in that location?
Yeah, I think my primary answer, the main response I'm going to give to that is, what's the benefit of having a 9th service center to the community? We don't have, I mean, the car dealership is not going to bring any value to the community. We are asking for basic services. And honestly, right now, yes, there are 8 car service centers or dealerships. We have children walking, we have people. Our building has a lot of pets and babies and young families. We try to walk around and, you know, yeah, it's an up and coming area. But there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of, you know, commotion in the area that's already there. Like I mentioned, there's parking issues that, you know, they've taken up parking. Yeah, and that might be legal. I mean, that's fine. We know that. I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, it impacts our daily life. All right? It impacts our life as people who are currently living in that space. What we're asking for is that it was initially stipulated that there was going to be a grocery retail store in that particular spot. We don't have a store that we could, and I keep on referencing the complete community concept that the city has pushed towards. I know that there is a push towards building complete communities where people have access, easy access to basic essential services. Right now, it takes us a long time to get to the nearest grocery store.
So I'll try to very, very quickly refocus. So our mandate at this committee are the 4 statutory tests. So I think you're talking about impact, and you've expressed that, and I think that has come through. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
No. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can move. There are
Hello?
no...
Yeah, hello? Can I speak now? Hi, my name is Mike Kopansky, and I live at 30 Baseball Place, and I've submitted a letter of opposition with respect to this minor variance application. The reasons for mine, I echo the concerns brought forward by the previous speaker, but I also would like to bring some additional items into view. First of all, the specific use of a car dealership within this portion of the development was specifically not allowed in the bylaws originally passed and allowed for when the development was approved. The existing development does not provide the adequate parking required in the bylaw. As a result of inadequate parking for visitors, there's a lot of illegal parking, which leads to unsafe spaces for residents to walk along Baseball Place. And it also leads to congestion in the area. We understand and live with the fact that there are 8 existing car dealerships along the connection of the roadway to East Don Roadway, but we disagree with that there would be any value added by adding another car dealership into this residential portion of the development. I'd also like to identify that the city's website includes a public hearing notice that was mailed out on April 28th, 2026. Just want to notify the committee that none of the residents or the owners or the condominium corporations that are part of this development received this mailed notification. The development is already overwhelmed with traffic and congestion resulting from the existing car dealerships, and to add another car dealership will not make this situation any better. I request that the Committee of Adjustment deny this application at this time, and that they give consideration to the fact that the inadequate parking space along with congestion is leading to unsafe conditions within our neighborhood. It also does not add to the value of the community. Similar to the previous speaker, I'd like to reiterate the fact that the services provided by this car dealership are already well served in the previously approved and established car dealerships to the western portion of the facility, and that was the appropriate location determined when the application was first reviewed and approved back in 2015. That would be the points I'd like to add to the previous presenter.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask you a question? Because it seems that we keep repeated that there are already 9 dealerships in the area, but you were aware that they are allowed to have a car dealership, but it's not in this particular parcel. It's the one that facing Queen Street. That they're allowed to do that, but would that be less impact if you think that it should be on the parcel facing Queen Street instead of the baseball place here?
No, I don't agree that there'll be less impact.
You still be the same impact, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the baseball place roadway is a kind of combined pedestrian traffic roadway, and it will not be well served by having another dealership along Baseball Place or Queen Street. So I disagree with the consultant's professional position that the car dealership being back off of Queen Street East is not a problem. The original bylaws that were adopted when this was approved specifically did not allow a car dealership in this portion of the development.
Yeah, that's what it is. But the question is, in this location versus the one facing Queen Street, the impact is the same, in your opinion? It's not making it worse? Yeah, right.
It would be the same negative impact if the car dealership was facing Queen Street or as if it was proposed in this location, and neither one of them are allowed for in the existing bylaws approved at the time the application was originally approved by the City of Toronto.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. So, do we have...
To you, Madam Chair, the next speaker is from the same address. We have half time left if they want to share the time.
Yes, you can ask them. We're going to let him know, yeah.
Sharon, you have been unmuted.
Yes, since it's from the same address, you only have 2.5 minutes to speak. Okay, yeah. Good.
Sharon, can you hear us? To you, Madam Chair, we'll unmute the next speaker from Unit 607. Gray, you have been unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. I just want to start, there's a lot of repetition that's going to be heard today because this is, a lot of people here. I'm going to try not to do that. I had a phone call with Janan Kulik, who's the COO of the car dealership. Just to put into perspective the size of this dealership that it has grown to from the one title.
Sorry, excuse me. Can you give us your first and last name and your your address?
Greg 607 15 Baseball Place.
Okay. If you have same comments, I would like you to limit to avoid repetition, please. Yeah.
I got it. So just to put into perspective, the size of the dealership that we're dealing with here in such a small congested area, and this is information provided from Jenna Kulik, who's the COO of the dealership. 10,000 vehicles a year are sold through this dealership currently. All started with one Toyota dealership and now has a total of 8, wanting to grow to 9. He advised that DAG has made a big mistake with this application and made no attempt to consult with residents at all. He told me he was also a resident when he was asked when I asked if he lived there or if he rented. He said that he rented. So he was trying to explain to me that, you know, he's part of the community. Then when I pressed him, he rents out his unit. I asked him what's in it for the residents. There was no response other than he would appeal the decision. There's no empathy for the residents, just the demands for their dealership here. He advised that they have 400 employees. We have 900 units in this neighborhood, and you add 400 employees in there with traffic, parking, it becomes a very congested area. He advised that he also bought all the parking on P1, leaving little to no guest parking at all. My daughter had a friend come over. They had to park a half a kilometer away on Broadview, paid $40 to park because there's no more parking. As previously mentioned, it's all high-end cars sitting there doing nothing in these parking lots. He said he's open to meeting with residents and knowing that we have concerns, but has not reached out to us. He just keeps doing what they do. As I said, he's going to appeal, and that's basically where our conversation went. I also spoke with their general counsel, and he's advised me that contradicting what I'm sorry, I think the gentleman who's presenting here for DAG says that there's going to be no service area. Well, there is a service area going to be going in. They have 2 service areas for a Hyundai dealership. They're going to be rebranding one of those dealerships to accommodate the Cadillac side of things. And when you take a look, we had situations throughout the night where tow trucks come in and drop off vehicles. And I spoke to Mr. Mintz regarding this, and his response to me in the text message is, I quote, "This is a tough thing to have an easy answer for. On one hand, when a customer car dies in the night on the side of a road, we need to be able to give them the support they need to get their car towed to a safe location where it can be fixed and they can be back on the road. On the other hand, we totally understand that a third-party tow truck driver won't necessarily show appropriate level of courtesy and respect to our neighbors in dropping off cars." So these are flatbed vehicles that are coming in with their amber lights flashing, lighting up the whole complex, you know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and waking people up. He also stated, as I previously mentioned, one of the existing drive-throughs will be replaced and rebranded. For example, Lexus downtown currently has 2 drive-throughs, as does Nissan Infiniti. One of the drive-throughs will be rebranded. So taking a look at the plans here, this violates the official plan for mixed-use, residential-focused neighborhoods by creating adverse impacts on safety, traffic, noise, and fumes. I don't think anybody here would disagree that child safety is the #1 priority in the city of Toronto, any city in Canada. And there is a traffic issue caused by these dealerships, and there is a safety concern with kids. You know, it's the driver's responsibility to keep an eye out for these kids, not the kids' responsibility to keep an eye out for these drivers. This contradicts bylaw 1364-15 and 1363-2015. This does not allow for vehicle dealership on parcel B. It fails to meet the minor criteria under the Planning Act. The variance must be minor for a car dealership and repair shop, as it introduces noise, fumes, traffic that are not compatible with the residential tenants above. Traffic and parking. I was advised that they have bought all of the parking on P1. And so we do have a serious parking issue. It's this area is intended for pedestrian-friendly, mixed-use activity for the residents. There's safety hazards when it comes into moving vehicles across sidewalks, causing.
Thank you. Your time is up. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
know what? Let me, if I could, just for 1 second. This is a pretty serious area of concern, and to allow 5 minutes on an issues that they were allowed to change their application.
I'm sorry. We have, as you say, we only have 5 minutes each person. We have to move on. There are a lot of speakers want to speak. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
To you, Madam Chair, we'll now move to the next speaker from Unit 917, 15 baseball. Please.
No. Hello. Can you give us your first and last name and your address? Before, thank you. Are we connected to? Okay.
Maureen, can you hear us? To you, Madam Chair, we can move to the next speaker from 60 Broadview. Nikki, you have been unmuted. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you give us your name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Nikki Dollywall. The address is 60 Broadview.
Okay. Yeah. So you have 5 minutes to let us know of your concern, please. Yeah.
Thanks. I won't take that long. A lot of people have already brought up some of the concerns that I want to address. Mm-hmm. But I did want to make an appearance speaking outside of someone who lives at 15 or 30 Baseball Place. I'm part of the wider community and live about 500 meters from where this DAG addition would go in. My family and I have chosen to build our lives long-term in the Riverdale community, so we care deeply about how it evolves over time. While these buildings were originally marketed and developed for these ground floor places to be presented as community retail, cafes, restaurants, food stores, and amenities that the community needs, this was the promise connected to the development, building a community. Residents were also told that they would become pedestrian-oriented spaces, which I don't think this new DAG building would reflect. Automotive uses, as already mentioned, exist within the development where they were already contracted and planned. Expanding that use into this community-facing retail area changes the character and functioning of the space in a meaningful way. I'm also concerned about trust and accountability regarding DAG when it comes to noise impacts and traffic. While the applicant has stated that there won't be any additional noise disturbances or traffic disturbances, residents already experience vehicle activity at all hours, including cars being brought and towed late into the night, well outside of noise ordinance for a residential area. I have my doubts that they can truthfully maintain any of the promises that they say they will when the location is up and running. That corridor is used for people outside of Baseball Place as well. As I said, I live on Broadview, but because of my proximity to the Baseball Place buildings, I also use that space to walk through with my family, and the addition of more cars I think would definitely be harmful and impact safety. It's difficult to the residents to rely on any assurances made by DAG because they can't keep the promises that they kept to the community with their current spaces. Mm-hmm. This change wouldn't have received so many letters of objection if the community didn't already have a plethora of issues with DAG in their current location, and I wouldn't receive these letters of objection if the change in variance was benefiting the community. But this change in variance does not benefit our community. The space has the potential to provide amenities that genuinely serve residents and strengthen the neighborhood, and I respectfully ask the community to reject this variance application. Thank you.
There are no question for this speaker, so let's have the next one, please.
To you, Madam Chair, we have the next two speakers are from the same suite, so they might be sharing their time. So, Tim, you have been unmuted.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, you only have about 2 minutes to do it because the previous speaker used up the rest of the 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
No. Sorry, I'm the first speaker of our household.
Through you, Madam Chair, this is the first speaker for this unit.
Oh, the first. Okay. Sorry. All right.
Sorry.
So you have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please let us know your name and address.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. My name is Tim Posselt. I co-own Unit 1004 in 25 Baseball Place with my wife, Anita Thoma. Sorry. I wholeheartedly agree with all the good points that have already been brought up, and I want to share some additional points and perspectives to that. I'll try to not repeat.
Okay.
I wanted to say first also that my issue is not against DAG in general. They're part of this development since the beginning. This auto-focused use was part of the development as it was planned, and I would have not purchased, or we would have not purchased a condo in this development if we weren't okay with that. The problem with this specific variance for us is that this is not a minor variance to us residents, it's major. And I want to come back to the question that was asked earlier about the impact that this dealership would have. And outside of the impacts that have already been stated, I also want to add that, you know, some impacts aren't adding something, they're taking away something from a community. And to me, that's the major impact of this new dealership. Because if you really look at how our development, how this community really is structured, you see that there are two areas, Parcel A and Parcel B. Parcel A, which is already much, much bigger than Parcel B, is dedicated to dealerships. That's already absolutely 100% automobile use. And then we have a much smaller Parcel B, which was designed to be for the community and to have community serving retail. And adding a dealership to those spaces to us is absolutely a major variance and one that really shifts the purpose of this development in a way that I think needs to be protected and in order to make this entire development work. The DAG agent that spoke earlier mentioned that the initial purpose for not allowing car dealerships in that parcel or in that part of our development was to make sure that there are no car dealerships that are fronting Queen Street East because it's a pedestrian area. And so because this doesn't front Queen Street East, it would be fine. Well, my issue with that is Baseball Place is also a pedestrian area and it's fronting Baseball Place. And so I think the initial purpose to keep dealerships away from that still stands. That there's absolutely no reason because it doesn't front Queen Street East to say that this dealership isn't impactful in that sense. And so for us, you know, this part of the laneway, and that's the main point I want to make. For us, this part of the laneway that makes this development work in this community that we bought into is the part where we exit our buildings, where we meet each other, where we have a little chat, where we once hoped to even be able to sit down for a coffee, because that's also how it was marketed. So that's probably not going to happen. But this is where, you know, we live our lives, where we hope to buy some food, other daily necessities. This is supposed to feel like the community part of the development, like our home. And I really understand that maybe to the committee, you know, thinking of, oh, one more showroom doesn't seem like a major change. But the broader impact in this case matters because it's a development that has already so much auto-related activity. And this is one of the last larger retail spaces in our community for which the residents hoped that it would eventually become something that gives us, you know, the things we really need, like, for example, a grocery store. And so this proposal really shifts the character of our entire development. And ultimately, I think that's why it matters so much to us residents. And you know, to me, we're feeling like we're starting to live in an auto dealership, and as has been mentioned before, the relationships have also not always been great. And so for the reason that this to us is absolutely a major variation and that it shifts the character of our development, I respectfully ask the committee to refuse this application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions of this speaker? Okay. Okay, we can move to the next one, please.
Through you, Madam Chair, we can now circle back to the previous speaker from 15 Baseball Place, unit number 917.
Is this one going to have 5 minutes or is it?
Yeah, this one is going to be 5 minutes. Maureen, you have been unmuted.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Give us your first and last name and your address, please.
It's Maureen Gardner, and I'm at 15 Baseball Place.
Okay, thank you. You have 5 minutes to let us know of your concerns. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, basically my concerns are the same as everybody else that have spoken. I've had a lot of dealings with DAG trying to get the nighttime delivery stopped. It took me 2 years to do that. I don't think this dealership, to put another boutique dealership in, is going to benefit us at all. And basically, that's all I have to say. This is not what I bought in for when I bought this place. I'm very disappointed in everything. And I hope you reject this application. We do not need a 9th dealership here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Through Madam Chair, we are done with our speakers now.
Well, that's all the speakers?
That's all the speakers.
Thank you. So let's bring back the applicant. You have heard the concerns, and then you have 5 minutes to do your rebuttal, but also afterwards we might have questions to you ourselves, okay? Yeah, you can.
Thank you. And if it pleases the committee, I'm joined here by Alon Mintz. He's General Counsel for Downtown Automotive Group and a representative of the owner. So I thought if the committee had some very specific questions related to DAG's operations, I'm familiar with some answers, but Alon would be a good person to assist with providing responses.
Yes. Oh, okay. I do have a specific question. Just you're proposing the dealership on parcel B, but it's part of a bigger one. Is parcel A also part of the dealership?
So on parcel A, there are several dealerships which are owned by Downtown Automotive Group. That's correct.
So, so it's a large multi-purpose complex. Sort of runs in an L shape with an east-west run on the southern end and then a north-south run on the eastern end. And this east-west run is parcel A. And that is where all the existing dealerships are. On the ground level of parcel B are retail units. They're ground floor only. They don't go below grade. And they're simply single-story ground floor units. Those were always intended for commercial purposes. Most of them, actually all of them currently except one, are still unoccupied. Another has been recently sold, but remains unoccupied. This one is the one that, so this is one of 5 retail spaces that we plan to occupy, again, as a showroom only. It'll be a showroom only.
So can I ask also, you do have some kind of storage, right, for the vehicles?
Mostly
it's not like
off-site.
Oh, most are off-site. So how many vehicles that you will be on site store besides the showroom vehicles, right?
So we currently, in the existing dealership space, we have 4 below-level grades. Okay. They're exclusive to the dealerships. They're part of that space. So we use those for a combination of inventory vehicles and customer vehicles that are in for service. We have a couple of parking lots that either we rent or we own off-site that we use for other inventory storage as well.
Okay.
And this space, sorry, and just to add, this space itself that we're seeking the variance for would store approximately 9 vehicles that are really just for viewing, right?
Okay. And also baseball place is primarily used as like entrances to the maybe parking space for the condos and for your property. It's really, there's no parking, legal parking on the baseball place, right? Or
on the north-south stretch of, because baseball place is a L-shaped street.
Yeah, okay.
Along the east-west portion, there is some parking permitted, but no one really uses it for parking. We use it sometimes to stage vehicles for test drives. But on the north-south side, there are fire routes on both sides, and there's no parking at all there.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I apologize, I was outside of the room if this question was asked and answered, but you would agree that baseball place is, it's not a laneway, but it's tight as you come off of Queen Street, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's a private lane.
So if I'm looking for to purchase a vehicle, and I'm going to go to a vehicle showroom, I'm going to have to park my vehicle.
Correct.
I can tell you that when I was out here on the weekend, as you take Baseball Place south from Queen Street and then make that right-hand turn westward, that roadway becomes extremely narrow because there are cars parked on both sides of the road. On the south side, it has all to do with the dealerships. As you get, and it was very difficult to maneuver, and even when you get onto the East Don roadway, because the south end of it, right at the bottom there towards Eastern Avenue, is fenced off. There's construction, whatever. Going north, there's cars all parked on the boulevard there, adjacent to Don Valley. So my question is, where are your customers going to be parking if they're coming to view vehicles?
So we have existing customer parking. If you've been there, so along the east-west portion of Baseball Place on the north side, there's outdoor covered parking.
Okay.
So if you look at the map that we have up on the screen, if you south on East Elm Roadway and then you turn left, so you're heading east on Baseball Place.
Okay.
To your immediate left, there's first a dealership, and then directly after it, there's a covered outdoor parking area.
So you're talking about Baseball Place right all the way down to where those individual units are and that residential building.
I'm talking, so in terms of customer parking, I'm talking between the two blue markers.
Oh, okay. Well,
so just to the east of the top blue marker.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we also there's a lot on Queen Street which you can see there.
Okay.
Between the buildings, and we have access to that lot for customer parking as well.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we use that for customer parking as well.
But I will say though that the spaces that you're talking about on the east stretch of Baseball Place, it's not recognizable to an individual like myself if I were coming down there, unless you advised me of that. But I mean, there were cars all parked along.
We've actually been trying to work with the city to reduce the street parking on East Don Roadway, especially when we had the construction going on. I don't know if you're aware, but there was the streets, car tracks, and then some water mains were being redone.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was an absolute mess.
And it was the wrong weekend, by the way, to come down, but
correct.
That's okay.
But we've been trying to work with the city to reduce the street parking on East Don Roadway, remove it entirely, to keep that. So East Don Roadway is on the west end of this complex.
Yeah.
So especially because there isn't much parking enforcement being done on East Don Roadway itself. And so towards the north end of it, as you approach Queen Street, there's constantly people parking.
Yep.
And frankly, they were mostly construction staff.
That's true.
And so we've been trying to work with the city to reduce that. We also, as part of us opening a showroom here, We've already made plans with Knights on Guard who are going to provide licensed personnel who have, I guess I don't remember the specific licensing process through the city, but they're able to ticket and tow and call for vehicles to be towed that are parked in the fire lanes along Baseball Place. So it's really our intention to keep it clear.
Okay, and in terms of what you heard from the residents about cars being towed in the middle of the night and dropped off, the proposed use and location is not going to have service bays, so there's not going to be any servicing of vehicles there.
Absolutely.
But the residents are saying that the cars are still being dropped off to the other.
Yeah. So we have 8 dealerships there, and when we built this complex, or when this complex was being built, none of these 8 dealerships were new dealerships. They all existed within about 1.5 kilometers of this area. And, as we moved into the space and as the residential units started to become occupied, we realized we can't operate like standalone dealerships. And we did make a number of concessions. For example, we don't have, like one of the objectors said, we sell 10.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
We don't want to move into as a discussion.
Sure.
We're just trying to have a rough idea.
So
I guess my question.
We sell about 10,000 cars a year. Not a single one of those is delivered to this property.
Okay. Perfect.
We deliver them off-site.
Last question, and this is to Mr. Mathis. In your letter that's filed with this application, on the first page, you say under this site-specific bylaw, automobile uses including dealerships are permitted on parcel A but not on parcel B where the site is located. Therefore, a minor variance is required. And then further on in the letter, you indicate, and maybe you can explain this, it says that you're suggesting that in your letter, that in section 2.2, that the delineation of the 2 parcels, parcel A and parcel B, was based on the phasing of build-out, and that a vehicle dealership would actually be permitted on parcel B. Can you confirm that?
My understanding is that at the time of rezoning, the demising line between parcel A and B was based on phasing. Just to clarify, I mean, the bylaw is quite clear that you can't build a dealership on parcel B. So if my letter suggested that you can, then that was misworded. Yeah. But just to say that why, to answer the question of why can you build it on some area and not another area, notwithstanding what the residents have kind of spoken about, my understanding is the original intent was to consolidate those uses off of Queen Street.
And get them off.
Right, so how much of parcel B can you prohibit it from?
Okay, right. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, we have
Appreciate
more
that.
questions. Yeah, everybody's going. Can I get one quick one in? Is that the parcel B, you're not supposed to have a car dealership, now you're applying for variance. So what is the intended use?
It would be a vehicle dealership only is the official use under the official plan. It wouldn't be a dealership in the, sorry, I don't know if I understand your question?
Yeah,
showroom only.
Sorry,
I don't know if I understand your question.
No, because now you're asking to have a dealership in parcel B. I'm
Correct.
just saying that, what is the intended, the initial proposal?
Oh, so it's zoned under the CR zone, and it permits all of the uses that are typically permitted under the CR zone. So restaurant, retail,
commercial, retail
nightclub,
thing, except dealership. Yeah. Okay, that's what I want to clarify. Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Coffey.
I just wanted to say on the parcel A, parcel B issue, it seems to me it's not only the Queen Street East frontage, but it's also the question of the density of car dealerships in the whole area. But I also just want to ask if you're planning to use an existing service area for this car dealership.
Yes, so the number of service bays won't change. Those are below grade. When I say service bays, that's where we actually work on the vehicles. That won't change, it'll stay the same. Those are all below grade. We call them drive-throughs, where customers drive their vehicle in to drop it off. The number of drive-throughs will not change. One of the existing drive-throughs from one of the current brands will be reassigned to this brand.
And just to comment quickly on the question of density of dealerships, the site-specific bylaw doesn't limit the amount of GFA for a particular commercial use. It has a maximum, as I recall, for commercial use in general, but it doesn't delineate to say that this much must be grocery, this much must be retail, and this no more than this can be
But it
vehicle
limits by
dealership.
saying car dealerships cannot be in this parcel.
That is a limit on location. Yeah.
So I just wanted to follow up on the comment you said. So we won't be increasing the number of service bays, but at the moment there's no Cadillac dealership there. So presumably the same volume of cars will be bringing out services before, but there will also be Cadillac customers coming in for servicing. So that's adding to the overall number of people coming in for servicing?
Hopefully for our business,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
They mostly access through East Don Roadway because that's closer to where the entrance to the service bay will be. The service bay will be in the existing dealership space.
But that's mostly access from East Don Roadway.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. And so someone's in the Cadillac, this proposed Cadillac dealership. They like the look. They want to do a test drive. How will that happen? Where will they go? Where will the cars be?
The test drive will begin and end in we call it the Autoplex, is the current dealership space. They will begin and end there. They'll walk over, and the car will be ready there for them.
Right, and so the cars for test drives will be stored in those underneath there. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, please.
So one of the areas we haven't explored is really about governance. So the main floor retail on both Parts A and Part B, is there a relationship with the condo board of management in either of those cases, or is whatever you do independent of the board of management?
It's independent. We do have a shared facilities because there are certain amenities, there are certain utilities that serve both or serve all. There's 3 separate condominiums. Is it 3? 3 separate condominiums. The Autoplex existing dealerships are technically condominiums, they're retail condominiums, but they're a separate condo corp. This is a freehold unit.
Right, so basically it's severed from the residential unit. So I noticed that we've got an awful lot of people that have written in and shared their thoughts with us today. They're individual condo owners. Have you or your clients had any discussion with the boards of management, particularly of Part B?
In reference to?
No, I'm just wondering whether there's been any kind of official relationship with the board of management. I mean, individual concerns are one thing, but they are represented by the board of management, and I'm just wondering if was there any discussion or dialogue with the board?
I sit on the shared facilities committee, and so we have conversations about operationally the entire complex.
Right.
We've talked in the past about traffic flow on Baseball Place, things like that. We haven't officially discussed this proposal. We have sent a letter out last week when we saw all of the objection letters come in because we thought that there was a big misunderstanding about whether there was service or not at this unit, and obviously there isn't, and so we really wanted to address that. We wanted to address that we're taking it seriously to control the traffic. We're just as interested in controlling.
But there's no official role for the board on your application other than as an interested party. They don't have any either official consultation process or any kind of approval process associated with this development.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
On that point.
Okay.
Is this an ownership position or a leasing position on this unit?
Ownership. We plan to own this unit.
You plan? But
They don't. You don't currently own it, as I understand it, but we're acting with the authorization of the current owner, who they have.
Okay.
They're working.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So any.
We haven't actually given them a chance to give their rebuttal.
Yeah, exactly.
Too many questions.
I think by answering these questions, you actually address the oppositions. They first of all, the main concern is that too many dealerships in this place, in this area, and parking. It seems to be those two, and noise maybe. I think you have. Do you have anything you want to address to those 3 issues, or you already?
Maybe just maybe one overarching point I think that bears making is that, like, I can appreciate that residents were perhaps sold a vision of this development at one point by the developer and builder who isn't my client. We know, the committee knows, you see it all the time, how the city evolves and changes, right? And there's different retail uses that come and go, also different residential uses that change over time. And this is an evidence of that. It's also located along Queen Street East. This is one of the most pedestrianized, mixed-use, commercial-dense areas of the city. I don't want to diminish the concerns people have raised that they don't have access to a grocery store. That sounds like a pain in the neck. But the choices for where businesses locate are up to individual business owners. They're not centrally planned or controlled. So if this unit isn't used for an auto dealership, it's not to say that it will be a grocery store tomorrow, right? It could be any number of other uses that are
sounds like a good opportunity, though, business opportunity. I will open one there.
But also to say that there's other areas along Queen Street East that dealerships could locate. So if you don't like dealerships, that you know, they may locate elsewhere in the area too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have done with our rebuttal, and we sorry, it's our order. We have done with our question, we have done with your rebuttal, and now we're in committee. Okay, this can stay for the decision. Yeah. All right. Who would like to start? Ms. Crawford would like to start. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't support this application. I don't think the variance is minor. It's a change of use to a prohibited use, which by definition is potentially not minor, but then when you look at the opposition and the impact, which has been spoken to in great detail by residents and neighbors. Also, there's the issue that although service is not going to be located here, it will be increased, which is an impact that many residents and neighbors have spoken to. But fundamentally, it's a residential condo development suited for small-scale retail in the site-specific bylaw or services, not a car dealership, which is a prohibited use.
Oh, okay. So thank you. Any other comment? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This is. Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with my colleague. This is a difficult one for me to sort of land on. I think, again, and I think I expressed this at the last committee adjustment meeting I sat in on, this is perhaps not the appropriate process to go through for this particular application. I think when you're changing policy, council policy, that requires a rezoning. And I think in that instance, the process is more time-consuming, but it also involves having community input and meetings to address concerns from residents. I am likely not going to support this application because, again, from our mandate and the 4 tests, I don't think this variance, and it's only one variance, but I'm of the opinion it doesn't satisfy the 4 tests. So I will respectfully not support it.
Okay. Please.
Yeah, similar to my colleagues. I mean, first of all, I would say that the zoning intention was very clear to not allow car dealership in this particular location. And I take the point, first of all, that it's probably quite a difficult place to lease, and I can sympathize with the owner. Also, I take the point that it is off Queen Street, but it does seem to me that the original zoning intent was specifically to keep Parcel B as not part of the automotive sector, which is dominating Parcel A. So to me, it's not satisfying the intention of the zoning. I also agree with my colleague that, you know, a case like this, maybe a bylaw change would be more appropriate.
Rezoning. Yeah.
Rezoning would be a more appropriate process. Also, I don't think that this is a desirable use of this particular lot. I sympathize with the residents that the desirable use of this part is for retail that would benefit the community. I think that's why the zoning specifically is in that direction. So I think for those, it doesn't satisfy those two tests, and I can't support either.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any more comment? Okay. Yeah, I was on the media-based theme can tip the other way, because in a commercial point of view, a business point of view, it makes sense. If we need to expand another dealership. But then I will look into listen to the deputants, or whether it is desirable for that community. It seems that for that community, it's not desirable. But what it really tipped me is that I go back to the intent of the bylaw. It's if it was shown both parcel A and B, the same uses, that was the intention, right? But if it was shown separately, that was a very clear intention that it's been used as a different use. So for that, I think that make the decision for me that not to be able to support this application. So maybe I will make a motion, and anyone want to? I would like to make a motion to refuse. Yeah.
As amended.
As amended, yes.
I'll second.
You second, and all in favor to refuse? It's unanimously refused. Sorry, yeah. All right, so does anyone want to have a lunch break? Or no, I'm so sorry.
For you, Madam Chair, we need to proceed on to item number 11.
Oh, okay, 11.
We break after item 16.
Oh, okay, so all right, item 11, purpose of this, it's 22 GALT Avenue. This is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a new rear 1-story ground floor addition, a deck with stairs, and a rear basement walkout. We have received a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 3 photographs of trees on the subject property, and also cover letter and a tree protection plan from agent. We have also received comment from Urban Forestry, and that's all we have received, and they are seeking 3 variances.
To you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Good afternoon, fellow members, Madam Chair. My name is Felix Leicher of 33 Fernwood Park Avenue.
Can you, sorry, your voice is a little bit weak for us. Can you speak closer to your mic? See how we go.
I'll try, yeah.
Okay.
Is this better?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start again. My name is Felix Leicher of 33 Fernwood Park Avenue. I'm speaking as the agent on behalf of the owner.
Oh, okay. It's not. No one is opposing your application, so I'm going to see whether we require a presentation or we just have questions. Just questions. We do not need a. Okay. We have some questions for you. Please go ahead, Mr. Blumberg.
Please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First question is this not really a legalize and maintain, something that was initially built previously?
Yes, that would be the first step, but our client is proposing to improve the existing addition, and therefore the existing standard is so bad that it more or less needs to be torn down.
Okay. And second question, you've only obtained a zoning waiver. You're satisfied that there are only 3 variances required?
3 variances, which are on the waiver. Yes, we are satisfied. We have a zoning notice, and now the first zoning notice didn't include the deck variance, and therefore we added that one, but it's now part of the zoning notice.
Do you want to go, Dylan?
I just wanted to, so just to confirm, is this basically the same footprint as the current situation? You're just building a new, replacing the existing addition with a different one?
Correct.
Okay, and I noticed you have slow soft landscaping, but the driveway is gravel. Are you going to maintain that as gravel?
Yes, and it's the 30% landscaping which we are proposing is already a big improvement to what was there originally. The entire backyard was paved, but will be mainly soft landscaping except the
Okay,
parking
so you're
spot
actually
and-
adding some soft landscaping?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Any questions?
Dylan asked the same question I was going to ask, so.
Oh, okay. And no more questions? Okay, we do not have any more questions. Now we are in committee, yeah.
I'm happy to move this.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, given that it's essentially replacing the same footprint as exists, and also that they're actually improving the soft landscaping, and the soft landscaping is too low, but the gravel driveway, I think, also provides some drainage. So given that, I think that the impact is minor, and that this is easy to prove with forestry condition number 2.
Yes.
Dylan, would you be okay with tying it to the site plan to make sure that that stays gravel in the back?
Yeah, I'm happy to do
Okay,
that.
site plan. Okay, there are
With
two conditions.
the condition
then.
to the site plan.
Who wants to second this? Yeah, Ms. Lombardi, a second. All in favor of the two conditions? All in favor? It's approved unanimously. Thank you. And so item 12 is 1040 and 1042 Queen Street West. This is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached commercial building, which is a restaurant, by constructing a rear second-story cantilever addition above the existing ground floor parking area. And we have received a survey site plan, 4 plan elevations, 3 photographs, and also a decision affecting property. And we received email corresponding from city planning and also transportation engineering. And that's all we have received, and they're seeking only one variance.
To you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers.
No speaker, yeah. Okay.
Good afternoon. Edward Lee here.
Yes.
Architect for the proposal at 6 Argyle Street, Toronto.
Okay. No one is opposing your application, and I do not think we need a presentation from you. Any questions? We do not have any question either. Do you have anything you want to address us before we move into discussion?
No, nothing, but this is a feel-good story for restaurants. It's one of the rare restaurants that actually requires an extension to their building due to good business. And all of this addition is for back-of-house area for additional cooking and food prep. So it's not for additional seating areas. If anyone had any concerns about the size of the actual restaurant proper.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Thank you. All right, so yes, please, we are in committee now. Yes.
This is a modest redevelopment of the property, if I can call it even that. The addition is at the rear, and it won't impact the front heritage architecture. In addition, I'll note that in 2016, the community adjustment approved an increase to GFA to 1.4 times. So this is really a very modest increase.
Okay.
This one variance. So I'll move to approve the application, grant the one variance. I don't think, transportation has no issues, so I don't think there's any conditions left on this one.
Yes. Anyone second that motion? Yeah, Mr. Crawford? Yeah. All in favor, no conditions. Thank you. It's approved unanimously. Okay, so next item is 1317 Brunswick Avenue. This is to alter the existing, I'm sorry, I got one. This is to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear third floor additions, and also to construct north side exterior stairs and grade, and which connecting to the rear second-story roof deck. There will be a total of 3 residential dwelling units on this lot, and also they will go to Unit 1 will occupy the ground floor and the front east portion of the second floor and the third floor. And we have received survey site plan, 4 plan elevations, 5 photographs of the property, and also communication from Heritage Planning, and they are seeking also one variance. That's all the material we have received. Thank you.
Through Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe Dome, 133 Torresdale Avenue, agent for the owners.
Okay, thank you. It seems to be quite a straightforward application. You're asking for one variance. I do not believe we need a presentation. No, we do have some questions. Go ahead, please.
Is the staircase going to be the entrance to the second unit?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. We do not have any more questions. We are in committee now. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to move this. I was initially a little concerned because the staircase is really right beside the property line.
Yeah.
But the neighbor also has a staircase, I think, going down to the basement on the same side. And also there is a decent separation on the neighbor's side between the properties. So I think that it's the impact is minimal, and I'm happy to move a motion to approve it.
Yes, please. Second, Larry?
Sure.
Yeah. There's second, and no condition, all in favor? Yes, all in favor is approved, yes. And unanimously, thank you. Item 14 is 14 JOANITH Drive. This is to, the application is to alter the existing one-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete second-story addition and a east side rear two-story addition with a basement walkout, and a ground floor deck with stairs, and a front porch with stairs, and a front integral one-car garage, and a new front yard walkway. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot. And we have received a survey, site plan, floor plan, elevation, 21 photographs of the property, and also staff communication from urban forestry. And that's all we have received, and they are seeking 3 variances.
Through Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Okay.
Faizan, you have been unmuted.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, give us your name and your address, please, for record.
My name is Fazan. My name is Fazan Akhtar of FA Engineering. The address is 1237 Woodbine Avenue, M4C4E5, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay. I think this is you do not have any opposition, so let me check. Does anyone want to have? No, we do not require a presentation from you, but we will have questions. Yes.
Yeah, just the variance number 3.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a 0.5.
0.05 actually.
0.05. So it's pretty much flat, but someone did a calculation and found it's like half a centimeter off.
Yeah. I think it's probably based on what is written. I don't think someone actually went out to measure.
Yeah, more of a survey discrepancies, and the zoning examiner, he caught onto it. So he said that there is maybe an inch of change there, but it's very minor in nature.
So it's effectively flat.
Yeah, I'm pretty
effectively flat.
I think there's
Madam Chair, I went out and measured it.
Yeah, no, I think that it is
there's no flies on the committee of adjustment.
It is a foreign leaf lying there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's crazy. It's just a little crazy.
Okay, so now we are in. Seriously, we are in committee now. Please.
I can take this one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is a straightforward application. It's a modest redevelopment of the existing bungalow and conversion into a duplex to provide more housing space in a much sought-after neighborhood. So I think the 3 variances satisfy the 4 statutory tests in the Planning Act. And so I'm prepared to move a motion approving the application, granting the 3 variances. I don't see any conditions from any...
Forestry, condition 1.
Forestry? I didn't see
condition
that one.
Okay.
1. Number 1?
Yeah.
All right, with that condition.
Yes. Then Crawford, second?
Yes.
With 1 condition, all in favor? All in favor is approved unanimously. Okay, thank you.
Item number 15 is 267 ELLIS Avenue. This is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear second floor addition. And we have received survey site plan, floor plan elevation, 2 photographs, cover letter, and a list of comparable GFA in the area from the agent. We have received from TRCA communication, and we have received support from one ELLIS Park, and also oppositions. We have received one opposition from the Swansea Area Ratepayers Association. And we are ready for the agent. Yeah.
Through Madam Chair, we have the agent online and no speakers for this item.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Sylvia Evelenbos from Just Drafting. I'm at 255 Glen Lake Avenue in Toronto.
It seems that you do not have any opposition or speakers.
There's the forestry advisory memo.
Yeah, the advisory, and also there's the Swansea Ratepayers Association. I have read what they have submitted, but I forgot what it says. Are they in support?
No, they're
no. Yeah, they are opposing your application. I just like to mention it, and you're aware of that, right?
Yes, I am. I spoke to them yesterday.
And then they happier now? Okay.
Well, he said he would withdraw his opposition. However, he understood our situation.
So it's really the forestry recommendation we need your input on. They've indicated that to us that they'd like us to defer your application because you haven't provided them with everything they need. Can you just update us on that?
I have been in contact with them. We do have an arborist just waiting in line to pop in there. I really just need to provide a tree protection zone for the front.
Okay.
In the process.
So you're not planning to remove or damage any trees?
No, absolutely not.
We can put in a condition anyway in case they will damage.
Is it the tree protection, is that a private tree or public tree?
I think there are city trees.
Say again?
They're city trees, city-owned trees.
City trees, thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, there's 2 letters from Ravine. It's the second letter.
Yes,
that states condition number 1 for private.
So we can put on a condition just in case they have.
For sure.
Something. Yeah. And what is the condition? F condition 1 or 2? For
private trees within our ravine protected area and submission of a complete application.
Just wondering what number it is.
Yeah, it'll be number. It says number 1, but typically city is number 1, private is number 2.
But this is the ravines,
so,
forestry ravines,
right.
So they have their own set of conditions.
Yeah.
So forestry condition 1, right?
Forestry ravines.
It's ravine and natural features.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So not regular forestry.
Yeah, within condition 2 and forestry condition 1. That's what I have in my notes. Yeah.
No, it's the opposite.
Just ravine.
Through you, Madam Chair, it's just the ravine.
Yeah.
Oh, just the ravine. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm wrong. Who make the motion?
Are we in committee?
Yeah, we're in committee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this.
Yeah.
I know this area quite well, and it's actually quite a lovely lot with a steep slope in the back and nice views. So I kind of understand why they're proposing this application. I don't think there's any negative impact. There's no opposition to this one. It's a straightforward application. I'll move approval subject to RNFP condition number 1.
Okay. And Dylan, second with condition number 1. All in favor? Okay, all in favor. Unanimously approved. Thank you. It's approved, yeah. And item 16 is 176 Ennerdale Road. This is to alter the existing one-story detached dwelling by constructing a front one-story addition to enclose the porch and a rear ground floor deck with stairs. We have received survey site plan, floor plan elevations, 4 photographs, and also tree protection plan from the agent. And we have received support from 174 and 178 8 seem to be the adjacent property, letter of support. Thank you. And
To you, Madam Chair, we have the agent online and one speaker in interest online.
oh, one. So there's a speaker. Okay.
One speaker in interest.
Okay.
Hello, members of the board and Madam Chair.
Yes.
My name is Mike Gerger. I'm from MP Design and Associates. I reside at 768 Mary Street North, and I'll be the acting agent for my clients at 176 Ennerdale Road.
Yes. It seems that there's you have one person want to speak in opposition. So can you give us a 5-minute presentation?
Yeah, so we have an existing bungalow. There is an existing veranda out front that is covered, and the covered roof is actually part of the main roof of the house. And we are at a T intersection. So our house is situated on Ennerdale, right at the base of Harlow Avenue. So when cars are stopping at the street and turning, we are getting their headlights in. So we wanted to enclose a portion of our veranda to be a portico. So we are maintaining a portion of the veranda, but kind of enclosing it as a portico, just to give us a little bit of privacy from the headlights shining on us from Harlow Avenue. And in deciding to do that, we decided, okay, well, let's pull our family room forward and we'll enclose the rest of the veranda. So we are not increasing the footprint of the house. The actual roof of the dwelling stays intact, and so our massing does not change whatsoever. So we are modernizing the house, but keeping it within the guidelines of the neighborhood, and we think it will be a positive improvement from the aesthetics from the outside.
We have another speaker want to deputize. Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Give us your
My
name
is
and
Rosario.
address. Yeah.
Yeah, I live here in Ennerdale Road.
What's your name?
Yeah. Rosario.
Okay.
Oh, I'm living here in Ennerdale Road.
Yes.
160 Ennerdale Road. I see this place that I don't oppose anything in here.
I can't hear you.
She's not opposed.
So you're not. You're in support. You're support.
Yes.
Oh, you're supporting the. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So that make the matters easier. Okay. Now we don't need to bring back the agent because she's actually in support. So we are in committee now. Unless you have questions.
No, I think this is very straightforward. And I actually quite sympathize with the homeowner being on the headlight area from the street. I can totally understand why they want to close this off. And it's just basically it's a porch enclosure, and I don't think there's any impact. So straightforward. I'll move approval, no conditions.
Okay. No, anyone second? Okay. Dino? Miss Ann second? Okay. All in favor with no conditions? All in favor. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, we'll take a break now and we'll resume at 2:35.